The following is a production of the Averett Sports Network.
Welcome, Cougar Nation. My name is Matt, the Dean of AU Sports Johnson, and I am joined by a very special guest today, my partner in crime, the radical one, Rodney Harper.
MJ, the Dean of Sports. How are you, my friend?
Doing great, Rodney, doing great. Getting ready to call a fantastic homecoming part 2 here in Danville, Virginia, Averett University's North Campus. Daily Field, the proud sponsor of Averett University Athletics, and we're here on our Daily 7 pregame show.
Yes, indeed.
Set to open things here between the Maryville Scots and your Averett University Cougars. It's a great Saturday action-filled day here. We got all of Maryville really here at Averett competing in all sorts of athletic events. I already got word volleyball for Averett won in 5 sets over the Scots, and we're set for a 1 o'clock start for some football action here on the field as we already get started with some homecoming festivities here, cheering on the Big Blue, Rodney.
I'll have to say it's a great day for football. A wonderful day, a wonderful fall day. The weather couldn't be any better. I can look outside, look at the foliage, changing colors. So this is a great day for football. It's not too cold out here, so I like to take this time and opportunity to invite all of you out, man. I know it's cool to watch things online, but you can't beat this live feel of the game right here on the field. So come on out and be a part of this wonderful day. This is going to be what we would call in the sports arena a slobber knocker, if you will.
That is number 2 ranked team in the conference. Maryville coming in here to Averett. Averett ranked 3rd in the conference standings with their 1-1 record. Maryville 2-1. The conference actually led by Huntington, who is 3-0 in the USA South. They will actually finish their season with Averett in Alabama. So a win today for the Cougars goes a long way when you look at the standings in the conference, but we're going to get more into that when we continue our Daily 7 pregame show here in a second. So welcome to our Daily 7 pregame show. Need a place to stay next time you come to Danville to cheer on the Cougars? Be sure to check out one of the fine Daily 7 properties, Holiday Inn Express, Courtyard Marriott, or the Innkeeper, conveniently located just a short drive from North Campus, Main Campus, and many of Danville's historical locations. Don't forget, Holiday Inn Express, Courtyard Marriott, or Innkeeper on your next trip to Daily Field. Daily 7, proud sponsors of Averett Athletics. And Rodney, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we'll have our breakdown of today's matchup between the Scots and the Cougars, as well as our Wilkins & Company Realtors refresher of last week's action in Greensboro. The Cougars handed their first conference loss of the season, and then we're going to finish up once again with our Enterprise Rent-A-Car keys to a Cougar victory. So stay with us here on AU Sports Network. My name is Matt, the Dean of AU Johnson, and once again, glad to be joined by the radical
the mailman,
yeah, that's right. The radical one, the mailman, Rodney Harper, right by my side. So stay with us on AU Sports Network. We will be right back. to our Day 7 pregame show. My name is Matt, the Dean of AU Sports Johnson, and as always, my partner in crime, Radical Rodney Harper, the mailman.
The mailman, sitting here and delivering.
And as always, delivers every day.
Yeah, man.
And we're now going to turn to you to talk about our Wilkins & Company Realtors refresher of last week's action. Greensboro defeated Averett in Greensboro at Worley Stadium, a place close to home for me.
Yeah.
Defeated Averett 48-46 in what was a comeback effort for the Greensboro Pride and really a tough loss defensively for the Cougars.
Johnson, I'm going to have to say, for that kind of deficit and 21-point lead blown in the fourth quarter, things happen. We understand. This is this is a game that we were talking before the pregame. You can't. This is not something you can mold and then put it out there as far as a pre-done thing. We had the story unfolds as a new book every new chapter every game, and that was no exception. We pretty much was looking to see the final nail put in the coffin for that particular game, and then of course things happen. So I'm hoping to see, and speaking with some of the coaches, a change in the approach in the game with some of the mistakes that were made in last week's games in Greensboro.
And I know when we spoke earlier, one of the things that we both mentioned were the late interceptions from Kelly Hall. There were 2 interceptions that really led to that fourth quarter comeback by the Greensboro Pride, and really ironically named the Pride is their comeback was all about that. It was about their pride in playing to come back in that game, and that's 2 weeks now that Averett has allowed a team to battle back in the fourth quarter, to have a presence and make a game close. Against Methodist 2 weeks ago here at Daly Field, Averett was up 21-0 in the first quarter, 28-12, I believe 28-13 at halftime, maybe. And then Averett kept extending the lead, and then the fourth quarter comes, and as we talked about, that Methodist offensive line really brought them down the field, and the game ended 40-33 in a game that was not that close. It just showed it on the scoreboard. And as you mentioned, a big comeback win for Greensboro last week, 2 interceptions off of Kelly Hall. Definitely going to look to improve some of that decision-making coming in today against a very, very disciplined and sound defensive Maryville team.
2 things come to mind. The option read, the option pass. The option read was one of the areas. Speaking with the coach, he said the option sometimes if you give a quarterback an option and the adrenaline's pumping and they're trying to put, like I said, that final nail in the coffin, they're going to roll out and they're going to try to get that ball and pass. And I think that was one of the issues that he was very, very he was extremely, I won't say honest about. We're going to change that approach, just change the approach and how the call playing when it comes to the option read. And, so that's one of the things, one of the issues I think we'll see the difference in on this field today with Maryville.
And I think you hit the nail on the head there with speaking about the option read and that triple threat where you can, on the mesh, the handoff, the extended handoff between the quarterback and the running back, that's called a mesh.
Right.
And when you see that extended mesh, the quarterback can pull it and run it or throw it, or he can give it on the mesh to the running back.
Right.
And the one thing I'd like to see is back to maybe simplifying it, much like they did against Methodist, where they weren't doing that triple threat read on the mesh. They were just keeping it where Kelly, the quarterback for Averett, Kelly Hall, could either give it on the mesh to the running back or pull it and run it, as opposed to pull it and either run it or pass it. I think you give that extra option, and it gives an extra threat, an extra option, a different route for him to go to, but I think it provides a little too much on the field for a sophomore that's in a brand new system. Kelly Hall has done a fantastic job stepping in for an injured Drew Evans, but really, when you have a quarterback that's a transfer, still young as a sophomore, it's very tough to learn that new system. And I think, just like what you said, I think simplifying the play call, especially on some of those option calls, that is the way to go. And that's going to bring the most success out of Kelly as a quarterback and as a player. But we're going to move now, Rodney, to our Enterprise, and we kind of got into this a little bit, our Enterprise rent-a-car keys to a Cougar victory. And I kind of finished up our last segment, so I'm going to ask you now, what do you think, aside from maybe decision making and execution. What do you think Averett really needs to do to get a victory here? I know where I stand.
Yeah. Well, I'm going two things come to mind in any ball game that we see is defense, and more defense, and not as much as seeing more defense, but seeing less defense on the field. Special teams as well. Now, elaborate. Defense, the less we see them, because if you see a defensive squad on that field, for more than 70 plays, then it's a good chance you're not winning the ball game. I'll just put that out there. Not saying that that's the case, but if you see that defense on that field more than 70 plays, then it's a good chance they're pretty tired.
I mean, even getting up into the 60-play range can be a lot for one defense.
Absolutely. I don't care how conditioned you are.
Yep.
The key to winning a ball game is that defensive squad needs, and not saying stay off the field, but let's just be frank. If the defensive squad is rested, then they can make the stops, and the offensive squad can control the clock, control the movement of the ball, and that is the key. It's not as like, and I like what you said before in the pregame, right before we got here. We were talking about the offensive squad and not as much how much you can score, but how you can play that chess game, if you will.
Yes.
And how you can keep the ball moving and the clock moving.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you make a touchdown every play. If you can get that ball, from the first down to the next first down to the next first down, and you're eating up the clock, that's how you win ball games.
And I totally agree. We talked about this in pregame. We're talking about Averett possessing the ball and controlling the clock and doing what they can to control the game the way they want to, instead of allowing the opponent to control the game and Averett being dictated in the way they play. You really stole exactly what I was going to say.
Well, yeah.
I was thinking possess the football, but there is one other factor I'm going to take a look at, and it goes into this possession factor, and it's going to play an effect. I'm looking at Travis Jones on special teams. I talk about this kid every single time I come on the microphone because he is a lightning rod for this squad. Last week he had 3 touchdowns. He opened the second half with a 90-yard kick return, just exploding on the field. Every time he touches the ball, he ran for 55 yards and 2 more scores. His season was cut short last year by an elbow injury, but this year he has done nothing short of perform spectacularly and on all facets, special teams, rushing the football, catching the ball out of the backfield, and I've seen him make some good pickups in the pass protection as well, out of that halfback spot. So he's another guy that I'm going to look to. But once again, that big play factor goes into what we talked about. The more big plays you have, the less time and less chance for rest your defense has.
That's right.
So it needs to be a healthy balance. I look for big plays on special teams. But just like you said,
I
want the offense to possess the football.
Right. Yes.
They've had some big plays on offense, and they've had more than I've seen in the past 5 years, and since I've been here at Averett, they've had a lot more big plays and put a lot more points on the board. But I'm going to read out a few numbers to you, and this goes into exactly what you said about the defense being on the field. 63, 49, 58, 33, and 48. Those are the point totals that this Averett defense has given up in each game this season. That is not going to win many football games, and I don't think it's a bad defensive unit. And I love the scheme that's being put in. It's very similar to the 4-2-5 that our former defensive coordinator, Coach Jay Curlin, who's now at Christopher Newport University, what he ran. And using personnel in that style, but I'd like to see that defense off the field more. They're on the field quite a bit, and it's hard, even when you rotate guys, to keep your defense fresh when they're playing, as you said, 70 snaps a game.
With our squad scoring, our offensive squad scoring as they do, if the defense can't stop the ball, then that's once again you're putting yourself in the negative range, no matter if you're winning the game or not. Because eventually, if your defense stays on that field, let's just say a vast percentage of the time, let's give it a 60-40, then you're tiring out your defense, and when the offensive squad comes on for the opposing team, you're fighting a losing battle. So you don't want to start off this game and with an uphill battle. You want to constantly push the ball down the field and score. Constantly push the ball down the field and score. But with the consistency, of that is you want to eat time off of the clock.
And of course, you want to protect the football. We mentioned against Greensboro, those 2 late interceptions from Kelly Hall. play calling a factor in those, I think, last week. I think on one of them it was. I think on the other one, I think it was a play I would have called. I'm no stranger to throwing the football on a third and short situation.
Of course, we both of us, we disagree.
I'm definitely of that Bill Belichick kind of mindset where I'm thinking, what are they thinking? Because I'm not going to do what they're thinking.
Right.
And I think that was a little bit into it. And sometimes you can outthink yourself as a coach. But I'm fully prepared today to see this Averett coaching staff with this Averett team that's looked really good this year in many different ways, especially on offense. And they've flashed many great signs on defense. Overall inconsistent, but they've flashed signs of greatness. I look for them today to come out and play a clean, disciplined football game against what has been in the past 2 years the best football team in this conference. And with that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Rodney, you want to lead us into our commercial break?
Well, where are we going to the breakdown? Hey,
that's
here we
right.
go. Big Sky Reynolds breakdown. Stressed out over planning a wedding or hosting a special event? You need rental equipment for that construction or landscaping project you've wanted to start. Well, then go see the folks at the Big Sky Rents and Events, who remind you that their inventory really is as big as the Montana sky.
just like riding a bike, right, Rodney?
Something like that, yeah. But, as we go into this break, I just want to reiterate, the key to this, man, the key to this is ball hand. How do we handle the ball? Because I got a few little things I want to discuss with you, especially when we come back. And the reason is because in that fourth quarter, it was important to me to see the offense handle the ball timely, taking it, running the ball. You said pass, I say run. Why? Because you want to keep that offense on the field. We'll talk about that after this break.
Definitely, Rodney. Stay with us on AU Sports Network. Matt Johnson and Rodney Harper will be right back. Welcome back, Cougar Nation. My name is Matt, the Dean of AU Sports Johnson. I am joined by the Radical One, Rodney Harper, and we're here on our Daily 7 pregame show, getting set for our American National Bank opening kickoff. With over a century of experience serving the Danville community, American National is just the bank you would imagine for all your financial needs. Whether you're a college student or a business professional, take another look at what American National can do for you. Be sure to stop by one of their offices and visit with their helpful staff and learn more at amnb.com. Member FDIC. Rodney, we're about to wrap up our Daily 7 pregame show. Averett's got the smoke coming out of the tunnel.
Yes.
It's looking like they're getting ready.
Excitement is in the air, my friend.
Homecoming Part 2, Maryville coming onto the field. We're ready to go.
Yes, indeed. You said the American National was sponsoring this segment. I'm a student. I don't know if you knew that or not. I was just kidding. Here they are, and the Averett University Cougars coming out of the tunnel, and it's an exciting day for a great football game, my friend. Exciting day for a great football game. We're looking forward to seeing our AU Cougars come out with a victory today.
That's right, and one of the things that we mentioned before break is protecting the football, and,
yes.
and we talked about the decision to run or pass at the end of that Greensboro game. Mm-hmm. And I'm definitely I'm an offensive lineman. I played O-line here for my alma mater, Averett. Well, I'm all about running the football, but like I said,
and I know why.
I think when you got to spread it and throw it short, it's just as good as the running game. Honestly, I expect to see a lot of that out of Coach Shannon Johnson, our offensive coordinator here today. I expect to see a lot of short, quick passes. I think a lot of bubble screens, and I think they're going to go for a lot of quick hitters and try to use their agility against this Maryville squad. It's a bigger squad, a more physical squad. Mm-hmm. I look to see Averett to attempt to use their speed advantage and maybe use that undersize to their advantage against a bigger Maryville Scots team.
Understand your weaknesses especially when you're in the latter parts of a football game, and the weaknesses we had understood. We had already discussed this. The defense, we're having some issues. We're having some problems stopping the ball. Well, then hold the ball as long as you possibly can. And what will give you that opportunity? Well, if you got a fullback or a running back who can get that extra yard, who can get you to that first down line and continue to push the ball down the field, take no chances. I believe especially in a chess game, you don't take chances. And I think we took a lot of chances last week, and that was the demise and to our defeat against Greensboro.
Well, and just like you said, part of taking chances is blitzing on defense. I think it'll be interesting to see how our defensive coordinator, first year DC here at Averett, Pete Shaw, it's going to be interesting to see how he handles this Maryville offensive attack that in 2013 put 50 on the board against Averett. Right. Last year, in 2014, put 40 on the board here at Daly Field against Averett. So this is a Maryville team that in the past 2 years has averaged 45 points against a lot of these players on defense that are more experienced now, but in those past 2 seasons were younger. It's going to be interesting to see how Coach Shaw handles this very, very efficient and effective and talented Maryville Scots offense. And with that, thank you for joining us here on Averett Sports Network. We are going to bring it down to the field where we will bring you our national anthem and our Averett University Aviation Program sponsored flyover. And myself and Radical Rodney, we'll be right here waiting for you when we get back here on the broadcast. Stay with us on AU Sports Network.
It's a great day for football.
Oh, that it is. The air is crisp. The air is crisp. It's not too hot. It's not too cold.
I almost want to suit up and go out there myself, but I think I'll sit right here.
I do want to, but the doctors won't let me, Rodney.
Well, the doctors, I think it's out of the question. I think anybody else would. The coach wouldn't let me, so that's.
I don't think the coaches will let me either, Rodney. But hey, that's why we're up here in the booth.
That's exactly right.
We're gonna bring it down to the field now with our national anthem and our aviation flyover sponsored by Averett Aviation. Thank you for listening to Averett Sports Network. We will be right back. Stay with us. Matt Johnson and Rodney Harper right here on the mic for you.
We thank you for the opportunity we have to enjoy an athletic competition on a beautiful autumn day. God, we pray for each of these young men on the field. Keep them safe from harm, and may they play with respect and honor. Oh God, we pray all these things for your glory. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is Military Appreciation Day at Averett. At this time, we would like to honor all current and former military service members. We would ask you to please stand and be recognized. I want to thank you for your service and dedication to our country. Fans, at this time, we ask that you please direct your attention back to the field as Averett University President Dr. Tiffany Franks and Averett Director of Athletics Meg Stevens are presented the American flag given by Anna Turpin, field representative for Robert Hurt and the Veterans Club. The flag they're being presented has been flown over our nation's capital. Today's color guard is being performed by the award-winning Dan River High School Wildcat Junior ROTC Battalion. Members of the color guard include Commander Austin Barker, Cadets Matt Rickman, Austin Hudson, Chris Hall, and Gage Mayhew. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that everyone please stand and join us for the singing of the national anthem, performed today by the Averett Singers, accompanied by a flyover by the Averett Aviation Department.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The Averett Singers, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome back to Averett Sports Network. My name is Matt, the Dean of AU Sports Johnson, and I'm once again joined by the Radical One, Rodney Harper.
Radical, the mailman, Harper. Listen, man, what a wonderful. That was a wonderful display with the national anthem by the Averett Singers, and of course the flyover. A little late, but that's okay. You know, it looked good. I mean, they
looked great.
Little bank right over top of us, man, and you know what, Matt? Also, the sun is starting to shine. Now, it's not too late. I want to say this real quickly. We did win the coin toss, by the way. The game's ready to get underway. It's not too late to get to be a part of the game. So
Averett won the coin toss, elected to receive. So a lot of confidence in that offense. I know I'm a big fan of deferring to start the game and getting the ball to start the second half. But clearly, if you and a pooch kick, short kick, and that'll be received. It looks like that is Michael Reeves, I believe. I can't see the number.
Yeah.
It was Michael Reeves who
about a 30
fair caught at the 35-yard line of the Cougars. They'll actually mark it at the 34. So, Rodney, an interesting start there on the pooch kick.
Interesting start of the game. I'm shocked to see the pooch kick. Whatever the reasons is, they know.
Well, definitely
special teams.
Definitely being cautious of Travis Jones, who was deep for the Cougars.
Good idea.
Avoiding the threat of the big return, like we said. He took one to the house last week to open the second half. And speaking of Travis Jones, here's the read with the mesh on the left side. And Travis Jones out of bounds. There you see the speed, Rodney.
I'm telling you were telling me about that earlier, and he a quick 6 yards, 6-yard pickup on that.
They'll actually give him about 7. Mark him at the 41. It'll be 2nd and 3 for the Cougars. Then the offensive line getting a little healthier as the season goes. That should help out Kelly Hall.
Well, you can see a conservative Kelly Hall in this game, I believe.
Play
conservative,
action,
say the least.
Play
action, and
he is brought down
we were talking
very
about earlier,
quickly.
We were talking about earlier. Kelly Hall is taking the opportunity. He's looking at the field, and he's not pushing the ball down the field, which that's conservative, but as we can see early out in this game.
That was Jonathan Clark for Maryville on the sack, the senior defensive end, number 11, busting through. Kelly Hall did escape the first attempted tackle, and then Clark there to finish it up. So Hall in the shotgun. He's got one wide left. That looks like Travis Jones to his right, trips right as well, fakes the handoff. Here comes the bubble screen to the right side, and that's going to be a very quick tackle on the play.
Yes.
That was number 82 on the reception for Averett.
So quick 3 and out for the Averett University Cougars, and playing some conservative ball, Matt, I'll tell you. It's
well, I thought we were going to see the short passing game. They let off with the run and then 2 throws, the sack, and then the bubble screen on 3rd down. Doesn't work out. It'll be a 3 and out for the Cougars, and that brings on Hobie Proctor on to punt for Averett.
a booming punt, and it's fielded right there.
Oh, nice tackle by Michael Reeves.
Flag on the play.
Catch.
Flag on the play.
And it looks like they're going to say he called a fair catch. Reeves, again, making his presence felt defensively on special teams. He is known for that, Rodney.
Yeah, wow.
And on that reception, that was K.J. Walker. He wasn't listed on our 2 deep, but K.J. Walker received that screen pass on 3rd down. Let's see what this flag is as the referees get this sorted out.
And did he call a fair catch on that ball? Because I didn't see it. No.
I didn't either. He could have got it in at the last second. Yep, it's going to be the personal foul on Michael Reeves with his family section right in front of us, very upset with that call.
And there again, you like you just said, he may have called it real quickly right there at the end, which he very
well. You can see Reeves, he did the little motion to calm down and gave a thumbs up to the sideline and over here to the crowd. I think Reeves knows he got a little overzealous on that play.
And that's let's just say one of those we have to chunk up for a quick mistake that we'll learn from to move forward, because special teams, that's one of our strengths. And those are the things you watch, Dean. Those are the things you watch in the ball game. It's the special teams and the penalties that can come from.
That's right, and of course the yardage lost can mean a lot more than the yardage gained, as that is Evan Pettinger, who we are very familiar with. Last year he lit up the Cougars in that 40-point performance for this Maryville Scots offense, and that is in the backfield Deshaun Whitlock, who had that last carry, the sophomore running back for the Scots. As they run this check read offense, they'll come to the line of scrimmage, make it look like they're running a quick no-huddle play, and then they'll check to the sidelines looking for a penalty. And here is a bubble screen to the outside, and he will be stopped short after a gain of a couple. That was Stavorius Kimball, the sophomore wide receiver for Maryville, out there on the bubble screen. Both teams going with the short passing game early on.
Short passing games as well. Not only that, like you said, the option to step back and then allow them to think we're going to hike this ball and then stop, and they do this time. They do.
Yeah, they don't check it.
But our defense is on top of the quarterback. He throws it out of bounds.
And a smart play by
Pettigrew. Smart play.
And that's a very experienced move by the senior quarterback, Evan Pettinger, out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. The pressure comes right up the gut, forces him out of the pocket. Nobody open downfield. Get rid of it and live to fight another day. That'll set up a 4th and 5.
3 and out for the Scots. And they're prepared for punt.
On the punt, this is going to be Max Peets, the freshman out of Colorado, Franktown, Colorado. He's come a long way to Tennessee.
Yeah, yes. It's cold in Colorado. Did you know that?
Oh, I did.
Another pooch punt. Now, I'm just,
very bad punt off the side of his foot. Takes an Averett bounce.
I'll tell you.
And it's past the 50 and picked up.
And he is on the 40. And I'm going to tell you, I'm wondering now if there's something with their punter. If there's a different punter.
On that punt, it went off the side of his foot. That's a simple shank. On the kickoff, they were definitely keeping it away from Travis Jones.
Right.
And the rest of this Averett special teams, I think that one was more just a shanked punt more than anything. And already quickly, the Averett offense set up here with very good field position in a 1st and 10 in Maryville territory on their second possession.
Both teams in this opening playing a little conservative, so that's good. That's good. They're being careful, watching what they do and watching the field. Pass in the middle.
And nice ball from Kelly Hall. We have an injured offensive lineman on the ground. That is a very bad sign for the Cougars. Grabbing a knee. We cannot see a number on that. It looks like
43. Is that correct?
No, that is going to be 73. That is Rasheed Hurst, the sophomore offensive lineman. He has been a mainstay for the Cougars. He actually is the starting right guard right now for Averett. That's what he started as today. That pass completed over the middle for a solid gain and a first down. But with the injury on the field, Coach Cleve Adams and the training staff out to tend to the injury. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay with us on AU Sports Network. We will be right back. And welcome back to Averett Sports Network. Rasheed Hurst helped off the field after the injury, so substitution at O-line. But here's Travis Jones up the middle on the zone, and he will be forced back, maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
Indeed. Something you never want to see. I don't know if that was from a chop block or a shot from our lineman, but he definitely grabbed his knee, so the knee was rolled up on his knee.
Yeah, one thing I can definitely tell you is playing down there in the trenches, the guys fall down and just roll, and it can be a complete accident, and knee buckles and something serious happens. But Kelly Hall lined up with two running backs back there. That is Travis Jones and Ray Bound. The give to Jones, and he slips on second down. He is back to the line of scrimmage, and we will set up for a 3rd and long. It'll be a 3rd and 8 for the Cougars.
Now, on this field, I mean, this is being a synthetic field. I guess sometimes it can be, you can grass. A lot of the some of the ACL tears we see come from this, or in this case, we see it's a little slippery out there.
I mean, as a player, every player has their own personal preference, I think. Here's Hall, with the pressure again, scrambles away, does a great job, gets a block from P.J. Best, and he's going down the left sideline and inside the 15. All of Daly Field wants a flag for a late hit along the left sideline, but Kelly Hall appeared to be inbounds from what I saw. I think it was a clean hit, but Kelly Hall scrambling forward, escaping the pocket,
for the first down. That option read, we were talking about that in the pregame. He's keeping it, but
here is Hall going to give on the read. Here is Jones to the left side. He's going to get a short gain, maybe 3 or 4 on the pickup.
I've noticed they're pinpointing Jones every time they hand him the ball. They're locking in on him because they know the speed that this young man has.
One thing I'm definitely seeing early on, especially, is a very heavy flow of the defense to Jones. When you run out of shotgun, you don't see too much of the cutback. One thing I'd look for is maybe a counter run by Jones to get the defense flowing and have him cut back the other way.
That's right.
Motion is Miles Bennett. Here's the handoff to Jones. Instead, it's going to be a keeper on the play action. And into the end zone.
Into the end zone.
And stopped short of the end zone at the
1 yard line, and that was good. That was good. I thought he had it in there. It looked like it to me that he had crossed the plane, but stopped short of the goal line.
Miles Bennett.
Wonderful.
Reception.
And he's come a long way.
Miles Bennett, yes,
he's come
a
a long
freshman
way.
from Danville, Virginia last year, now a sophomore. Here's the Jones up the middle.
They push.
He's close.
The push. I believe.
It will be a touchdown.
It is in for a score. And
Travis Jones.
The Cougars strike first on this wonderful Saturday with the Maryville Scots, and that's Travis Jones once again, like you said before, a powerhouse in the middle.
He had two rushing touchdowns last week. Already opens the game with one. He had 3 total touchdowns last week, including the special teams. A great way to start for this offensive line. A big confidence boost.
Yes.
Always feels good to punch it in from the goal line.
That's exactly right. Dynamite job for Travis, and that's the desires there. They're hungry.
And the extra point is off the uprights.
My goodness.
Now, that was Chase Bailey on the extra point. That was not Hobie Proctor on the kick. Hobie Proctor, usually the kicker, it looks like Hobie may be limited to punting duties if Chase Bailey is kicking the extra points now. But Averett, nevertheless, a 6-0 lead to open the game.
So, from conservative to let's play our game. Let's play our game, and that's exactly what I see the Cougars doing in the opening of this game. Is they're starting now to play their game, and it's a good thing when you get the chemistry going quickly in the game like this.
Oh yes, and one thing I'm definitely seeing is a healthy mix and match of run and pass. 7 carries for Jones and Kelly Hall combined here to open their first 2 drives, and 3 throws from Kelly Hall. He's thrown over the middle. He threw a bubble screen. He threw the outside. So a very good job of balancing the offense and distributing the football to different players, different playmakers, and working matchups of the defense. That's how you attack a very disciplined team, is you work the matchups to your favor.
And Dean, that's what we want to see. We want to see that consistency throughout this ball game from the first quarter to the fourth quarter.
That is right. Here is the deep kick. This
7.
is going to be Stavorius Kimball
He
slips down before the 20.
And that's there again. We were talking about the field. The conditions of the field mean a lot, especially when you're dealing with special teams,
really on
running plays and stop and run.
On a day like this, I don't imagine that it's a field condition that's an issue. I think it could be going from practicing on a grass field to going to the synthetic turf and maybe not adjusting your spikes on your cleats enough.
Exactly.
That's always something to take into consideration when switching from grass to turf. We have seen a couple of players slip here, though, on Daly Field as Pettinger looks to the sideline. He's got Whitlock in the backfield with him to his right in the usual spread set. Now Whitlock motions to the left. It's going to be an option pitch to the left-hand side. Pettinger running
keeps
right through the defense
for the first down. I believe that the defense were looking for Pettinger to pitch that ball up.
They were playing Whitlock on the option. That was Don Warren, the defensive end for Averett. He's made a couple of plays here, the sophomore defensive end for the Cougars. Made the tackle on that one. 1st and 10, Pettinger and the Scots ready to go. He's going to play action, throw right over the middle.
Right over the middle, close to midfield.
It is complete. And once again, not listed on the 2 deep. Actually, he is. That is Michael Smith. I thought that was the tight end from where he came. He came from the slot. He came from the slot, so I made a mistake on that one. But here's Whitlock on the handoff to the left. Good give. And Whitlock
crosses midfield.
And that's been a big issue for the Averett Cougars with the game cancellation against LaGrange. They do not qualify on D3.com for their rushing defense because they have 1 less game played than every other team in Division III football.
Right.
But if you look at their rushing yards allowed per game, they are the worst rushing defense in D3 college football. They allow the most yards per game of any team, but again, they missed game against LaGrange, and they've played some triple option teams and teams that have done nothing but run the ball. But still, that is something to watch and see how this offensive line of Maryville works against a defense that is ranked that low in rush defense.
Yes. But the front line means a lot.
Here's Pettinger, dishes out to the right side and out of bounds quickly as he completed to Brian Horton, the junior out of Bonaire, Georgia.
And, Dean, the Cougars are getting some penetration to the backfield, but it's just not quick enough. not quick enough.
It's not, and it's not necessarily on the defense. We saw this last year because we called the Maryville-Averett game last year. This is the second straight year Maryville's come to our place here in Danville. And Pettinger is a very capable quarterback in many different facets. As we see here, scrambling to his right, stiff arms,
yes, he
looks
does.
to throw, now carrying.
My goodness.
And Pettinger close to the first down marker. It looks like they might have given it to him. But Pettinger, as we just saw, and I was saying, he can do it all. He can throw it downfield, he can make the short throws, and he can scramble when he needs to.
And not afraid to run. He watches the field. That's he reads the field very well, I should say. I mean, I'm very impressed by the way Pettinger so far has been reading the field and taking some chances, but he's been conservative of his play.
He most certainly plays like a senior and an experienced senior at that. And we saw that last year in his junior season. Here is Pettinger. Hands off from the shallow gun. Here is Whitlock looking to cut back, and he is stopped up by the defense. That was Kenneth Covington.
If he makes it to the line of scrimmage,
Caleb Williams,
maybe for a loss. Maybe for a loss.
It'll be about 2nd and 10.
So
really back to the line of scrimmage. We've seen a lot of DeJean Whitlock here today. We have not seen Trenton Schuler, another guy that kind of lit up the Cougars last year for Maryville. Man in motion is Mario Williams. Looking to throw downfield, the left side. They got a man open.
Intercepted. Almost intercepted. Almost intercepted. It's number...
that looked like Jamal Forney, number 15.
Yes.
One of the senior DBs for this Averett Cougar defense. Him and Dante Gilbert on the edges for this team. Two very solid cornerbacks.
Yes, and he aired that ball out just a little too much. But however, because of his the receiver had space to catch that ball. So
definitely separation, but a little too much air.
And that is a completed pass for a first down.
Evan Pettinger with a beautiful rip to his wide receiver, and he hits him wide open and moves the sticks. A great job by a veteran QB who seems to play very well against the Cougars.
I want to say I'm impressed. I'm impressed by Pettinger. He's come to play.
Whitlock motions to the left. Whitlock about a yard more deep than Pettinger in the gun. This is a big offensive line of Maryville, as they have had in all recent years. Snap, play action, downfield, wide open, great separation, and a great play. Jamal Forney able to get a hand in there, and the breadbasket catch.
Went back to the same exact play, that he did with the prior play, but the defense was ready. The defense was watching.
And that's the second big play that Jamal Forney has made on the outside, on that far sideline of Maryville. And really, these are two cornerbacks that you got to pick and choose when you attack them.
That's right.
Here's
Scott's taking some chances.
Blitz comes from Williams. Pettinger rolls to the right and will get out of bounds. He will pick up maybe 1 or 2 on second down. Actually, he will get more than that. It'll be about 3rd and 5.
Wow. And the Scots are moving the ball down the field now.
It'll actually be about 3rd and 6. And Maryville trying to get in the red zone.
Making a play for it.
Defense stacks the box. Here's the option to the left. Pettinger going to keep it. First down and more. Down
as
the left side.
For a touchdown.
Evan Pettinger.
I'm telling you, it's this young man has come to play ball today, and like you said, he's playing like a senior. He is playing
Evan
like a
Pettinger really showed up last year against the Cougars here at Daly Field, and this year doing much of the same. That time doing it with his legs. He's done it with his arms a couple of times on this drive, putting a ball in perfect spot on the left side. DB's made a play on it. That time Pettinger says, never mind, I'm just going to go do it myself.
As they go for the extra point.
The extra point is up
and good.
And it is good.
And that could play a part.
So Kyle Bennett, the freshman kicker for the Scots, puts it through the uprights, and it is a 7-6 lead for Maryville over Averett.
Extra points can plague you.
And, it's interesting.
If you're not careful. And, then, we missed the extra point earlier, so we're going to watch how this plays out.
Now, there's a lot of football to go. It's the first quarter, but if you score on your next drive, Rodney, as a coach, do you go for 2 to try to make it an even 7-point lead?
Or you have the faith in your the running ability is there. If you have the faith in your running back, you go for the 2. And I know you're gonna agree because you're a chance taker.
Well, I actually am going to surprise you just like I often do, and I go against what everybody thinks I'm going to do.
Sure.
And I would say I'd kick the extra point if you score a touchdown coming back here. It's the first quarter, a lot of football to be played. Yeah. I don't like leaving points on the field. I'm not afraid to go for it when I need to, but I'm all about picking and choosing.
You just said surprise. I would surprise me to go for the 2. What's the norm? Well, the normal routine of a coach would be go for the extra point, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Another pooch kick again to Reeves, specifically to Reeves. Definitely trying to keep the ball away from the deep threat in Travis Jones.
That's exactly right.
And they do not want to allow a big play on special teams.
No.
So looking at the stats here today, Pettinger having a great day through the air and on the ground. 4 of 7 through the air. Had a receiver drop a ball, and Jamal Forney make an awesome play defensively, but still 4 of 7 for 26 yards, also 48 yards and a touchdown on the ground. But Kelly Hall and the Cougars set to go. Travis Jones on the read.
He comes around the corner here on the right-hand side for about 5 yards.
A solid gain.
A solid gain for Jones.
For Travis Jones, taken down by Micah Smith, the junior defensive back, the safety out of Nashville, Tennessee for Maryville. Travis Jones, team's leading rusher, team's leading special teamer. Why not keep giving him the ball? But now in the backfield, it's going to be number 38, Sean Bowman, the freshman running back.
We talked about him earlier.
Yep, we did. He gets in the mix with Ray Brown and Travis Jones. A nice change of pace. And speaking of which, here he is on the left side for a first down.
A speedster, yeah.
He's definitely a good middle ground between Travis Jones and Ray Brown. Ray Brown, very much a power back. Have him go straight forward, get him 5 yards, cloud of dust, 3 yards, cloud of dust every time. Travis Jones, the home run hitter.
That's right.
And Sean Bowman seems to be able to do a little bit of both. So a very solid mix at running back for the Cougars as Bowman stays in the backfield.
And our coach Adams is mixing it up on the offense and bringing out some surprises, doing some different things as we've seen in the past.
And this is going to be Walker in motion to the left. Again, the handoff to Bowman. Offensive line pulling out in front. It's going to be about a 5-yard gain for Bowman. It has, despite the touchdown run, it has been a little bit of a rough go-about for Travis Jones, at least average-wise. He's one of the leaders in the conference in yards per average. Average yards per carry, that is. 6 carries, 18 yards, but a touchdown for Travis Jones.
They're locking in on him. They're honing in on Travis Jones. When he carries the ball, they go directly to where he is, and that's smart. That's intelligent smart for the defense because he is such a threat in the backfield.
And I think, as I mentioned, as Kelly Hall takes the read, pulls it, and goes upfield for a couple yards, sets up a 3rd and manageable. It'll be a 3rd and about 3 for the Cougars. But one thing I do like the idea of is with this defense flowing so hard to where Jones is going opposite from the gun, I'd like to see maybe a counter cutback, maybe something pulling the backside guard and tackle coming around and really have that strong counter action in the backfield. I think that would really catch the defense off guard, something we haven't seen yet here today, but something that this Averett team does run. Again, in motion is Walker. And there's the bubble screen to Walker again.
I believe he has enough for the first down.
I think he does too. KJ Walker, the sophomore wide receiver to the right side.
Forward
and
motion.
Again, there is that short bubble screen game that we talked about, but it's not going to be good enough for the first down. It'll set up a 4th and inches.
Wow. Don't like that spot. It looks like to me he broke the plane and he was driven back. But I thought the forward motion gave him the first down, and obviously
it's a tough call.
It's not about what I think; it's about what the referee's seeing. So we got a 4th and inches, and
what do you do, Rodney? You run it.
You run it. You have faith in your running game, and you believe in your running game. Your offensive line has got to, and I believe perhaps
we have a timeout. It's going to be a timeout, Averett. At least that's the signal I saw.
Yeah.
And it is.
What you do, you run the ball. You believe in your running game.
Well,
so
with the timeout, we're going to take a quick commercial break.
It's a timeout. We'll take a timeout.
And that's right. That's how it works. So stay with us on AU Sports Network.
Yes, indeed.
I'm always joined by Radical Rodney Harper.
This is fun again, man.
Hey,
about a minute 57 left in the first quarter. This is fun. Let's move forward, and we'll be back.
We're going to keep it going. Your score, 7-6. Maryville on top right now. Stay with us on Averett Sports Network. We'll be right back.
And we're back with what a wonderful game. We just ran a play, first down.
Travis Jones with a short gain on fourth down to convert. Jones up the middle again to the right side and gaining a couple. Apologize for the timeout, missing that fourth down. Averett coming up with a quick snap out of the timeout.
And, quick snap, and they did exactly what I said they do. Why? Because, and it's good. It's good, it's one of those, it's a toss-up. Believe in your running game. Believe in your running game. You were what, center? That was center with your position.
Did.
So you know. Believe in your running game.
One of the things that it definitely looks like it's helping Averett. Here's Kelly Hall scrambling. Pressure immediately.
Yes, indeed.
And he's going to be out towards the left side. He may be close to the marker. They're actually going to mark him a couple yards short. It'll set up a third and very manageable. But Spencer Dowdle coming back into the lineup for Averett. Also Cody McLean, a big freshman offensive lineman coming in, and Wilson Gregory, a mainstay since his freshman year, and Jake Comer as well since his freshman year. This offensive line has really come together, and we can kind of see that here today playing against a very, very talented Maryville front seven.
That's exactly right.
Kelly Hall comes to the offensive line and checks. He's got Travis Jones to the right in the backfield with him from the gun. Hands off to Jones. Jones looking to cut back, stays to the left, and is taken down. It'll be a fourth and short.
And short, and that's, the Scots they've made a play. Jones made a play on Jones. They know when he grasped the ball, whether he's going to run it or not, they have swarmed him, and some of the plays we've seen where Kelly Hall has kept the ball and made some progressive yardage. But when they know Jones, or they perceive that Jones is going to get the ball, they swarm him because they know that he's a threat.
One of the things I'm wondering is if these are designed gives and keeps on the read. Sometimes when you run that mesh play a lot on the read option, a coach can signal in as we end the first quarter here and head into the second quarter with our score, Maryville 7, Averett 6, here at Daly Field at Averett University's North Campus, Danville, Virginia. Homecoming Part 2.
Homecoming Part 2. Wonderful day for football. It's beautiful. Like I said before, the foliage is changing. It's beautiful out here. And there again, it's not too late. First quarter is done, but we go into the second quarter here in just a few moments. And your opportunity is wide open. Come and join the festivities. The crowd looks great, man. The crowd looks dynamite here on Daly Field, and you have an opportunity to come and be a part of it. You say, well, why? I'm listening. Hey, you can't beat a live football game.
No, you can, especially a college atmosphere on a homecoming. It's always a great feeling. We got the tailgate set up. We got games out there for the tailgate. Everybody's grilling. Everybody's having a good time.
Having a ball.
And everybody's in here in the game watching a great football game between two USA South teams. The Averett 1-1 in the USA South, Maryville 2-1 in the USA South. The second and third place teams were in that category.
Reminds me of the NFC East. I'll leave it there if that's okay.
Well, it is a very even conference right now when you look at it. Huntington on top 3-0.
Right.
Really, them and Maryville kind of looked at talent-wise, head and shoulders almost above everyone.
And we're just coming out of that bye weekend as well. So that, that's right. We would like to see a win here today.
Oh, definitely, especially after that loss to Greensboro and a big home win, first home win of the home victory of the year 2 weeks ago against Methodist. And then, of course, a 3-week layoff with the bye week, the cancellation, a lot going on for Averett then. Yes. But it's great to see this team back on the field as Kelly Hall shifts his running back, Ray Brown, to the right. Now gives the ball up the middle, but the ball is on the ground. It looks like Maryville says they have it. Let's see what the officials will rule. It'll be Maryville football.
Wow.
And, well, the first turnover of the ball game is a big one as the Cougars end their drive quite abruptly.
And I think it was number 6 who
I believe it was.
Picked that ball up, so, yeah.
We actually don't have him on the 2 deep. Looks like Frances Marshall, the freshman linebacker out of Greenville, Georgia, was able to pick up and recover that fumble. Here, this is not Pettinger, actually. This is a different quarterback, possibly an injury to Pettinger, because that is Nick Myers, the junior quarterback, the lefty.
Wow.
A crafty lefty in the game, Rodney.
And with some positive yardage on his first his first down.
It's a 1st and 10 for Myers. Throws right over the middle. That's going to be a big tight end.
Yeah. So new quarterback on the field for the Scots.
Actually, that was wide receiver Brady Brown on the reception, not the tight end. But all of a sudden, Myers in here throwing darts to his receivers and moving the football. Leaves the question to be asked, where's Evan Pettinger, who started the game and played very well?
So a double threat here today on the Daily Field with the Scots coming in with switch up with the first down. Another 1st and 10. A switch up the quarterback position and striking pretty quick.
Still Dejon Whitlock in the backfield. He is to the left of Myers. Now Myers
back to pass.
Throws and complete.
84.
Down the right side. Beats Jamal Forney. That is going to be Michael Smith. And actually, Nick Myers has played. Pettinger has been the primary quarterback, but Nick Myers almost 500 yards passing on the season, and he's played in all 6 games. He's thrown 4 touchdowns, has not turned it over, but really I was expecting to see all of Pettinger.
Myself included, the way he was playing. But this is a double threat.
Continuing to go with the 2 QB system, and it seems to be working out for this 5-1 Scots team. As this is a handoff to
around the corner as
the running back,
number 4.
That is going to be Chaz Rokins, the sophomore running back for Maryville, switching up the halfbacks and the quarterbacks on us here, Rodney.
Well, they can't do that.
Going with guys out of the 2 deep.
Yeah.
Rokins in the backfield. Myers will throw it complete to the left side. Good block on the screen, and he's pushed out of bounds close to the 1. That was Mario Williams, number 3. We have 2 number 3s listed on the Maryville roster. And now it looks like they're going to substitute some big boys up front. Actually, they're just bringing in some bigger bodies.
Yeah.
They're going to bring in a tight formation. Here is Maryville. And Pettinger, not just the leading passer on the Scots, he's also the 2nd leading rusher on the Scots.
Wow.
Here is Myers to Rokins. It looks like he's going to be stopped a couple yards short. But as I was saying, Evan Pettinger, a very efficient quarterback, close to 700 yards passing on the season, throwing close to 60% completion percentage, 9 touchdowns, has thrown 6 picks, but still playing very solid football. And also over 300 yards rushing plus a 48-yard game here today with a touchdown. So Nick Myers still coming in despite the good play, and Rokins stopped at the goal line.
And the ball is loose. The ball is loose. I believe that
the referees marked him down. I think they mark him down on the play before the ball came out, and it looks like it's going to stay Maryville possession.
Maryville ball.
Yeah, it looks like they're actually going to call it a loose football. I thought but they marked him down.
Nick Myers is a junior. Nick Myers is a junior.
He has played pretty well this season.
Yeah.
35 of 62, which is a 56% completion percentage. 447 passing yards coming into the game with 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Also does have 54 yards on the ground, as well as a touchdown. Here's the throw from Myers, and incomplete.
And looking for a flag on that play.
Senior Tavares Johnson, the safety on the coverage.
Yes, indeed. That brings up 4th down, and we see the kicking unit come on the field.
Should be Kyle Bennett, the freshman kicker for Maryville out of Christiana, Tennessee. And it will be
41.
Bennett.
Yeah.
Kyle Bennett, the righty. As we go over the special teams unit, it should be Pete's holding, and it's going to be Mickey Chait on the snap. And it's good.
That's good. 10-6 on this wonderful day, man. 11:32 left in the first half, and wow, we've seen some surprises.
That's right. Maryville 10-6 here. Almost a low-scoring affair compared to what we normally expect here at Daly Field with the way things have been going with the Cougars. We're going to take a very, very short commercial break. Stay with us. We'll be right back here on AU Sports Network. That's right. Welcome back to AU Sports Network. My name is Matt the Dean Johnson, and I'm joined by...
I'm the Radical one, the mailman, Radical Rodney. Right. You are doing a great job, man. Do what
Thank
you do,
Rod.
my friend.
Thank you, Rod. Too much going on here.
Yes, indeed.
We get the ball kicked off. This is going to be Sean Bowman returning.
He comes around the corner, and wow.
Going to be stopped after the 20-yard line. So a decent return from
kickoff
Bowman.
From Maryville, Wisconsin. Booming kickoff. And
this time keeping it away from Jones by kicking it to Bowman across the field instead of pooching it up to Reeves, trying to change that field position battle a little bit instead of with the pooch kick. So the Averett offense comes out looking to make some moves after Maryville pulled ahead for the score 10-6 here in the second quarter. Looking at some of the numbers, as here is Ray Brown. Actually, that is Bowman to the left side on first down. He will have a short gain. Really, this has been a pretty good defensive contest, Rodney. I know we got 16 points on the board here in the early second quarter, but defensively, both teams have been very, very sound.
Yes.
Averett only has 78 yards of total offense, discluding that last first down.
Right.
Maryville up to 152 yards of offense.
That's what we're discussing, as I say, when in the outset of the game.
And almost intercepted as Kelly Hall overthrows his target.
But they were discussing in the pregame was the defense, keeping the defense off the field, and moving the ball downfield, playing that chess game, keeping the defense rested. So when they do have to come on the field, they're ready, they're prepared, they're not exhausted, and that's exactly what they're doing. And that's why we see the game that we're seeing now, 10-6, 10:46 left in the second quarter, and Averett's on the move.
That's right, and one thing Averett needs to do to, as you said, control the game and keep possession. They need to complete some passes. I like taking shots downfield in a mid-range passing game. As Ray Brown goes right to the right side, breaks through, spins off the tackler, and crosses the 40-yard line.
Wow! Flags on the play, and anytime it's in the backfield, you can rest assured there's some holding.
And that's going to be on junior captain, the center, Jake Comer. The holding call.
So that huge run just erased from the record books.
So that'll set up. It should be a 3rd and 18.
Wow. Ouch, that stings.
Well, it's never a good feeling as an offensive lineman when you cause the laundry to be thrown, but it takes away a third down conversion on a big run from Ray Brown. And here we go, a 3rd and forever for Kelly Hall. He's going to fake the handoff, pressure, and he is
sacked in the backfield. I saw number 11. I saw him on
Jonathan
the move.
Clark, that is going to be number 2.
Unevaded. He was. It took him a little while to get back there, but he was unevaded.
That's his 2nd of the ball game, and Jonathan Clark, the senior defensive end, making some plays here in the first half. So both tackles for the defensive end, Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Sacks on Kelly Hall. That offensive line's got to give him some time to work with, especially when you're looking at a 3rd and 18 and you got to throw it downfield.
Exactly.
Here is Proctor. High punt. Short punt, but it takes an Averett bounce, and look who's there to down it. Michael Reeves, one of the special teams aces on this squad. Michael Reeves always there, and he downs it perfectly.
47-yard line.
Turns out to be a pretty good punt by Proctor with the bounce.
Yeah, especially by punting the ball in the end zone. And, boy, this has turned out to be a good one.
It certainly is. We got Pettinger back in at quarterback and another new running back in for Maryville. This is going to be Elijah Chenier, the freshman running back out of Texas.
The Scots playing interesting ball. Pettinger out to the run with the
He's going to pitch to Chenier.
Pitch option. Chenier's getting some yards down the right side, and he's going.
He's got some speed to him. That's the first time we've seen him today, and he burst down that sideline.
So
Rodney, he had some speed when he got that pitch.
My goodness, man.
I mean,
brand new, fresh legs, yeah.
I mean, that's that option pitch can be kind of a slow developing play because you're reading how everyone's reacting to the quarterback holding the football. The second Chenier got that football, he was gone. He was shot out of a cannon.
Triple burst of energy, and the Scots are they're changing up. They've come with a different plan. I'm seeing stuff we've never seen from them before. Plays we hadn't seen from them in the past. Obviously, utilizing the strengths they have. Pettinger, a runner, Myers, a passer, and so that seesaw matchup between the two.
It's definitely interesting to see them go back and forth between a guy like Pettinger who can, from what we've seen here at Averett, from just his performances against the Cougars, he can seemingly do anything you ask him to do. Yet Nick Myers definitely much more of a pocket passer. As you said, he's going to try to throw the football from the pocket downfield. Here is Chenier again. This time the defense all over him.
Yeah.
That's Darren Marison among every other Cougar defender in on that tackle.
As the Cougars make some changes on defense.
And now as they take out some of their guys and rotate some subs in.
8:45 left in the first half.
Here's Pettinger. Slings the
rock
right over the middle, and it's going to be complete for a first down and inside the 10-yard line. Mario Williams once again with the reception. He's had a couple today, a couple of big conversions for him. Ball down at the 5, so Maryville once again in the red zone.
Maryville in the red zone, and Maryville also taking some chances down the field. They're starting to see some gaps in the defense.
And one thing to take a look at, yards per play. Maryville 7.69 yards per play. Averett 3.26.
Pettinger running around the corner. He's
and Pettinger's in the
touchdown. And we were just discussing the speed of Pettinger.
Pettinger and Chenier, that's a really good option combo because Pettinger can run the football. Absolutely. And as we saw Chenier on his first carry, he was shot out of a cannon. So some real speed in that attack right now.
16-6 is the score with the Scots up on our Cougars. And by 10 points, 8:15 left in the first half. And I'm telling you, these Scots come to play.
They certainly have, Rodney, and it looks like this defense is struggling to keep up with the speed and a lot of substitutions by the Maryville offense. I think it comes back to what we spoke about before we got on the pregame show with this offense controlling the tempo.
That's right.
I'd like to see this offense sustain a drive.
That's right.
Even if they start back in some tough territory and they can't put any points on the board, at least knock off 4 minutes of clock.
Hold
the football. Exactly.
That's right.
Work the tempo, work the possession.
Right.
I think that'll go a long way against what looks like a very fresh Maryville defense and an offensive Maryville that keeps rotating guys.
But you just said it just a few minutes ago. The offensive line has got to give Kelly Hall time.
They do.
In the pocket. They've got to give him time. And if he doesn't have the time in the pocket, the plays cannot unfold, and then he has to go with the option, whether to run it or throw it out of bounds. So that's one of the issues is that we're seeing thus far in this game is the offensive line not giving Kelly Hall enough time to develop the play as they play.
And one of the stats to look at, as I mentioned, we talked about yards per play to give you a more accurate look of what it's like. Each team are hovering around the same area of plays, 27 plays for Maryville, 23 for Averett. Mm-hmm. Difference is 205 yards on those 27 plays for Maryville compared to 75 yards on 23 plays for Averett. So Averett needs to make the most of their opportunities when they have the football because they are not moving it as efficiently as Coach Shannon Johnson would like them to, despite that early touchdown drive.
Yeah. It didn't take Maryville long to adjust to the offense that Averett was bringing, but there again, it doesn't really matter. If he can't execute the play, you can't get the ball downfield, and you know it's a quarterback's job to execute the play, and to execute the play he needs time, and they're not giving him enough time so far. So we need to see the offense step up and start doing keeping him protected in the backfield.
As Kelly Hall working on that, looks like he's barking out some protection to his offensive lineman. Maryville in their base front.
There we go.
You can see Clark. He was left on the running back. Big throw downfield, and they mark it a catch. Wow. Terrence Owens.
You know.
Wow.
You know, Dean, I want to say this as they mark that ball on the I can't see that side the. Wow.
Inside the 35.
Inside the 35. I want to say this.
33.
You know, we're doing the broadcast, and I want to say this. I'm glad we don't have instant replay.
I was just thinking that if there was a challenge flag and I was on that Maryville sidelines, I'd be
what a catch.
Chucking it.
What a catch.
He looked like he may have gotten his fingers underneath. It was definitely a fingertip shoestring grab for Terrence Owens.
Kelly Hall in the backfield.
A remarkable catch.
Rolls out to the right.
Pressure from behind. Fumbles. And it's going to be recovered
by, I believe Averett.
That football was definitely out in a fumble, but it looks like Averett got it.
Wow.
Once again, pressure coming from the backside. Kelly Hall couldn't see it, couldn't throw the football in time, a big-time strip sack.
Yeah, and he was looking for Jonathan Clark, number 11, who has been a threat in the backfield, and, of course, they doubled up on him and come from the other end. They come from the other side. So
they're rotating those defensive ends. Really, they're trying to get Clark in a matchup one-on-one with the running back, which actually worked out fine for Averett on earlier in the drive. But here is the run right up the gut, and that's Jones for not very much.
Not very much at all. And you know they once again, as we said before. Maryville's watching. They're when the ball goes to Jones, they're watching for him. They're swarming him, and regardless of what's going on, they're not going to give him that opportunity to open up the field.
The only thing I can say is if Averett can be patient enough and stick with this running game, I wouldn't stick with it here on a 3rd and 21. But if they can through this game keep it close enough where they can run the football, Travis Jones opens up a huge play action game. Here's the throw. This is going to be Miles Bennett on the bubble screen, and it is incomplete. That's a very poor throw from Kelly Hall right at the feet of a wide-open Miles Bennett, who probably wouldn't have gotten the first down being 3rd and 21, but he could have at least put it into a 4th and manageable at best and maybe go for it on 4th. But regardless, here comes Hobie Proctor into punt from Averett territory. The ball is spotted on the 45-yard line of Maryville, so Proctor looking to change the field position.
Change it in a good way. Hopefully to benefit the defense, because once again we talked about that earlier. The defense, we need to keep them off the field as much as possible. And this is just the first half. We have plenty of time. 6:18 left in the first half. 17-6. Timeout with Maryville, and so we're looking to see the defense come back on the field when we resume play. But as we were saying before, man, this is the issue that we need to adjust, and hopefully coming out of this timeout. Coming out of I want to say out of halftime, that they will adjust that, because we've got to move the ball, number one, and we've got to move it in where we're keeping the defense off of the field. That's going to be the difference maker here. Plus, we've seen something that we hadn't seen, but we've got the double threat with Myers and Penninger switching up.
The one thing I can say that I look at when I look at the opportunities for Averett and what they have in this game for what they can do with this Maryville team is they're not going to do anything if they do not convert third downs. They're finding themselves in these impossible third down situations,
right.
And that's how they end up 1 for 6 on third down so far in the first half. The key, defense wins championships, but if you don't move the sticks, you're never going to score points.
High snap.
And a very high snap from Coleman, handled by Proctor. It's going to be a bouncer. It's going to take another Averett bounce inside the 20. Turns out to be a very good punt from Proctor.
Actually, right on the 15-yard line.
Once again, the bounce favors him, and here come the Cougars' defense. But as I was saying, Rodney, Averett 1 for 6 on third downs. Maryville 3 for 5 on third downs. That's a perfect showing. It's a small sample size, but you compare the 60% to the, I believe that's 18% 1 for 6 conversion rate on third down. That's a big difference, and it plays a factor mentally when you're on the field. When you know you're struggling to convert third downs, you can feel that Averett needs to get it changed. Pettinger stays in the game for a second straight series. And incomplete. As he throws for his tight end, number 47, Ben Bell, I believe.
Ben Bell?
Ben Buell?
Buell. That's Buell.
We went over the names before the game, but some of them
kind of escapes our
attention.
Yeah.
As Pettinger, once again, I was expecting to see Myers on the series, based on maybe a rotation.
I don't know if it's a senior thing. Maybe he's giving the seniors some more time of play, and Pettinger's doing a great job.
Well, the only time we saw Pettinger leave the field last year was when it was 40-17, and they
Pettinger's chased, but the pass is caught.
That is going to
bounce for the first down. Pettinger with some strong legs and fast speedster around the corner, man.
And once again, finding Michael Smith along the Averett sideline. It's going to be a third and very short for Maryville.
Low snap. Pettinger fields it, and it looks like he's going to keep it.
And it looks like, I believe he got the first down. He did.
Oh, yes.
Pettinger keeps the ball on the run. It's brought down by Jamal Forney of Averett.
Interesting game. It's
definitely moving along here. A lot less scoring than I expected. I expected some points on the board just based on the history between these two teams and the way they've been playing this season. I expected to see a slow
start. A slow start nonetheless, but we're seeing some movement of the ball with the Scots. And as we're approaching now 5 minutes left in the first half.
Pettinger again complete.
It's number 88.
Knocked down by 9.
That's
a wide variety of players. That's going to be Dontarius Gilbert, a freshman wide receiver.
Yeah.
We have a lot of these guys and several, especially wide receivers with these spread offenses that are getting listed on the 2 deep with different wide receiver positions. But some of these guys on these rotations,
and the false start to the offense was to our benefit.
I believe that is going to be the first penalty on Maryville. It is. So Maryville with their first penalty. Once again, just like I thought in the pregame, I thought we'd see a very clean game. We've seen 2 penalties for Averett. But nevertheless, that's only the 3rd penalty of the ball game, the first on Maryville. A very clean, sound, crisp ball game played by both teams.
Not the slobber knocker that I said it was going to be earlier, huh?
There's definitely some hitting going on. I don't know if it's not a slobber knocker. It's just not a high-scoring slobber knocker.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Here is Chenier, I believe. No, that's actually Whitlock.
He's hit at the line. Tackled by number 50 of the defense. That's
Darren Marison. Darren Marison, a nose tackle, junior defensive lineman. He's moved around a little bit for this Averett program, played some offensive line, now found his mainstay as the nose tackle of the defense.
Evan Pettiker ready to receive the snap. Drops
Play
back.
action.
Play action pass.
And complete.
Complete.
That is going to be Mario Williams.
Mario Williams makes it midfield.
3, tackle by 14.
And the Scots are on a drive again. Driving the ball down the field. Taking some shots, my man. Taking some shots.
Well, they're running that play action, and Averett's biting on it, and that's allowing the receivers to come up to a wide open middle of the field. And a lot of people like to throw to the outside to the wide receivers. Those are the guys that get a lot of the glory, but I'm very much a person that I like throwing the football to the middle of the field because that's where the most area is.
That's where the most area is. But, well, you know why they don't want to do that, because they will take that hit. You know?
Yeah, well, that's why you play. That's why we play football and not tennis, Rodney.
That's right. That's right.
Can't be afraid to take the hits.
You better want to take that hit if you're going to play this game. That's exactly
so
right.
The incompletion to the outside, a rare incompletion for Evan Pettinger.
You were just saying that the outside shot to the wide receiver is always good, but you can get that one in the middle because there's nobody there. There's nobody there.
Especially Averett playing with the two high safeties, kind of spreading. They got two backers in the box and kind of that 4-2-5
rolling out.
Typical look. Escapes the sack.
Escapes the first, but he is pursued and I believe for a loss.
It might be Caleb Williams. I don't know if he's going to get credit for a sack, but he definitely got the tackle.
Well, if he got him behind the line of scrimmage, that would be a sack, correct?
So Caleb Williams gets a sack.
Gets a sack on the play.
Because that was a throw. That was a pass attempt. As you know, sometimes defensive guys get all excited about getting a sack, taking down the quarterback in the backfield, but it was a read option, so it was a run.
That's right.
Caleb Williams able to break in and get it.
3rd and 11 with 2:40 left in the first half.
Out of Alexandria, Virginia. Here's the
drops
throw.
back passes.
And complete. Michael Smith.
Wow.
On the reception, another 3rd down conversion, and the Averett defense an inability to get off the field.
And that's another area we to discuss, man, is these 3rd down conversions. 3rd down conversions.
Well, right now that's 2 in a row.
Wow.
For Maryville. Looking at their 3rd down efficiency, they are 5 of 7 converting 3rd downs.
Wow.
Averett's 1 of 6. Actually, 6 of 8. So they've converted 3 3rd down conversions on this drive, and they've already got 5 more 3rd down conversions than Averett.
Well, then. We know the direction we're headed in. So that's and we know there again the game is close. The game is closer than we figured it would be. Any slips?
That looks like Michael Smith again on the reception. He's had a very nice day on the outside for Maryville. Michael Smith, that's his 5th reception. Give him about 76 yards, depending on how much they give him on that reception right there. But already 5 catches for that young man.
Trouble keeping his footing, Michael is.
We've seen that a couple of times today.
Yeah.
Under a minute and a half to go here in the first half. Pettinger stays, gets happy feet, but throws. That's a very, very interesting play from a very experienced quarterback. You saw Pettinger really had all the time in the world, and it seemed like he kind of panicked with his feet a little bit. Still put a good throw out there, but it looked like he got a little case of happy feet.
Happy feet, but there again, plenty of time in the backfield for the play to unfold.
Definitely a talented young man at quarterback for these Maryville Scots. Both of them, Nick Myers and Evan Pettinger.
4th down and 4.
4th and 4.
And they're going for it.
From the 27 of Averett. Trying to find the red zone. Hands off. Whitlock to the right side. He got a 1st down and more inside the red zone. Spins inside the 10-yard line.
Wow.
And Deshaun Whitlock, what a nice run to the right side. And Maryville trying to take this score into halftime and then receive the ball after the half because remember, Averett won the toss and elected to receive. So if Maryville scores here, ends the half on that score, they have a chance for a two-score sway, scoring twice in a row on back-to-back possessions if they work this out. But we have a timeout on the field, so we're going to take a timeout up here.
Okay.
Stay with us on AU Sports Network.
Wow.
It's myself, the Dean,
and Radical Rodney, man, the mailman. Minute 9 left in the game.
That's right. Stay with us. A minute and 9 seconds left here before halftime. 17-6.
Halftime.
Maryville on top for now. Stay with us on ASN.
We'll be back. Just run that. Okay. All right, we're back.
And welcome back to Averett Sports Network. Maryville Scots, Averett Cougars here at Danville, Virginia, at Averett University's North Campus, where all their athletic facilities are located. Maryville on top, 17-6 here in this one. But the Cougars looking to make a stand here before the half. A minute and 5 remaining. Pettinger, the quarterback. 1st and 10 inside the red zone, Rodney.
Wow. And Maryville Scots are, like you said, they're trying to go in with a huge lead. And, of course, they receive the 24. And
he's going to be in. No, they're actually going to mark him short. DeJean Whitlock.
On the 1. Made it to the 1.
But it's going to be 1st and goal from the 1, so Maryville 4 opportunities to punch it in here if they don't feel like kicking a field goal. And the clock is running, so Maryville trying to wind it down.
Clock.
As much as they can.
They're controlling the clock so that not giving the Cougars any time. Or very little time before
definitely, if you're Maryville, don't want to allow Averett an opportunity to have a quick strike with Travis Jones on a kick return before the half ends.
That's exactly right.
And Maryville trying to pull the 2 for here is Pettinger going for the pylon touchdown, Scots.
Wow.
And once again, Evan Pettinger putting it in the box.
With 31 seconds left in the first half. The Scots are leading 23-6, and there again, we were our assessment for the defense.
Stop the run.
Averett
coming in. I know they don't nationally qualify, but with their unqualified statistics, because of one less game played, coming in with the worst ranked rush defense in college football. And it's kind of shown with the way Pettinger's run the ball. The way Whitlock's run the ball. Chenier, a freshman running back we saw for a couple carries, looks like he got shot out of a cannon.
With 31 seconds left in the first half.
31 seconds left.
31.9 seconds remaining here in the first half. Your score, 24-6. Maryville on top.
It's been an interesting game, as you said before. We would have expected a higher scoring game. Nevertheless, we're seeing exactly the
very similar to last year, kind of close in the beginning. Maryville then kind of pulling ahead and taking control. But still a lot of football to be played.
A lot of football.
To be played.
And what, of course, with the halftime show coming up, what type of adjustments do you see Coach Adams making within?
I mean, have to stress the run. Need to talk to this defensive line about playing gap responsibility and playing gap responsible football. And really just making sure each individual does their job. I know this sounds like a broken record with Bill Belichick and his phrases becoming famous across football, but really if each individual does their job, you don't have to worry about the person next to you doing their job.
And you got to give Kelly Hall time. You got to give him time in the backfield.
And really that's where that whole thing starts, is if each offensive lineman takes care of their assignment, the offensive line is working in sync, and that helps the offense. That'll give Kelly time. I mean, that's a prime example of what I'm saying. I don't think you need to make adjustments. I don't think it's a bad game plan. I don't think it's bad coaching. I think this is a very talented Maryville team, but they can be beat.
Sure.
And we saw that on the opening drive. We've seen some fantastic play from this Averett Cougars team here today. It just seems to me like they need to regroup after halftime, realize that this is not over, and try to find a different point of attack, because handing the ball to Travis Jones is not fully working right now. Maryville is prepared as they hand off to Jones to the left side. Jones steps back again, and is taken down for a loss.
Watching
we will
and waiting
have
for him
a timeout on the field. It'll be timeout Averett.
Yeah. Consistency, Dean, as well. Consistency in your play. And that's something that we're seeing the Scots do throughout every time with the ball is consistency. Consistency. All right, that ball almost picked off. Yeah. Yes, indeed. 16 seconds left in this first half, and wow, what a game! What a great game! Great day for football. As the Cougars are on the 38-yard line. Hall takes a snap.
Tackle by 11.
Travis Jones taking the ball and possibly getting a few out of that one. Tackled by Jonathan Clark, and that's going to end the first half with Averett University Cougars trying to make a run, but it's 6-24 against the Maryville Scots. And we're going to take a little short pause for the calls and come back with your halftime show. I am Radical Rodney, the mailman, along with my good friend, the Dean. And we'll be right back in just a few moments. So stick around and stay tuned for the halftime show right here with Averett University Cougars 6 and the Maryville Scots 24. We'll be right back in just a few moments.
Welcome back, Cougar Nation. My name is Matt, the Dean of AU Sports Johnson, and my partner in crime today, the radical one, Rodney Harper.
I need to hear some excitement in your voice, my friend.
Hey,
Matt, the Dean.
That's right. Hey, I'm doing the best I can today.
And
it's a rough day.
I kind of need to add that, Matt's got a little, I don't know what you call it, I guess it's a
maybe laryngitis or something.
Fall ragweed thing going on. And so he's, we won't say under the weather. He's not under the weather. He just,
Hey, I'm here working. I'm still here working.
That's right, man. But
providing what I can.
We are at halftime, and we, wow, what a game. What a game, man. What a game.
It's been a game, and really it's something we expected a little bit of. Maryville coming out strong, the number 2 team in the conference. They were actually picked second in the coaches poll in the preseason. Right. Averett picked 6th. Now, Maryville sitting at second in the conference here so far this week, with Huntington the only undefeated conference team, undefeated record within the conference. They sit in first place, so an important game here for Averett in the sense that they gain ground against the team ahead of them, and gain ground on Huntington, who is securely in first place of the conference right now. Mm-hmm. But really looking at our Domino's Pizza halftime show, we got our Piedmont Printing first half stats, and looking at our numbers, Rodney, we were talking about it during the first half, looking at our yards per play and third down conversions, and those are really telling stats of what's been happening today to the Cougars.
And those are the things those are the issues that where am I at? I got me. Those are the issues that I talked about before. Is ball handling. If you handle the ball, if you keeping your defense fresh and off the field, you can win ball games. Your special teams means a lot. Our special teams have been performing, but the defense staying on the field, the offense not making plays, has played a part in this ball game for today. And so we need to see a change in pace. What do you think?
Definitely. I think Maryville's offense has been allowed to be on the field way too much, which has kept Averett's defense on the field way too much. And this is a coaching staff that loves to rotate their defenders, but no matter how many times you rotate or how many guys you rotate, they're still going to get tired when they're stuck on the field. Your offense coming up with 3 and outs and turnovers, not converting on third downs. Averett 1 for 7 on third down conversions in the first half. That is unacceptable. That is not winning football. And I know that is what Coach Shannon Johnson and Coach Cleve Adams are talking to that offensive unit about right now, is that they have to move the sticks on third downs. Mm-hmm. That is what is going to keep this defense fresh.
Exactly, and have to make some adjustments. Got to make some adjustments, keeping Kelly Hall protected in that backfield.
That's right. Now, one of the things that we saw that we talked about was Jonathan Clark, defensive end from Maryville, number 11, has come through cleanly on a couple of sacks. He actually has the 2 sacks in the game against Kelly Hall. And one of the things that I saw that they were doing is they were working him away from the shift of the offensive line. When you have a 3-step drop or you have a short drop as a quarterback, you know that offensive line is going to be shifting and one defender's rushing free, leaving the running back to pick up that free defensive end. Mm-hmm. And when they're shifting and they know that it's a short, quick pass coming, they're having that defensive end game planned to that side where that offensive line is shifting away from. So it's a running back on a very, very big and good defensive end in Jonathan Clark.
That's right.
And our running backs have been getting beat trying to pick him up. And if we can pick him up, there really hasn't been too much pressure. There's been a couple of run-throughs and a couple of breakthroughs up the middle of the line. But as long as they can shift this slide protection in the way to defend Jonathan Clark, I think that'll make a big difference in this passing game and give Kelly Hall the time he needs to look downfield and hit his men in stride.
Well, the Scots are locking in on Jones. Every time he gets the ball, every time he makes a play for any yardage, positive yardage on a run play, the Scots are locking in on him. They've been doing that all game long. That's something that's we knew was coming, but they've been very good at containing Jones in the backfield.
Well, that's right, Rodney. And one of the things that we've definitely seen from Travis Jones since his arrival here at Averett last year as a freshman from GW, George Washington High School in Danville, Virginia. I mean, one of the things we've seen from Travis Jones is that explosion, and we've talked about that quite a bit since we've been doing our broadcasts last year and this one here today. Uh-huh. Last week, he had 145 yards, all-purpose yards. He had a 90-yard kick return for a touchdown to start the second half. Then he had 2 rushing touchdowns on top of 55 rushing yards. This is a guy that this Maryville team knew coming into this game they have to stop him. Travis Jones is a big factor when it comes to Averett's success on the field offensively and in terms of just winning. When they win, he is successful.
Yes.
And even when they lose and the games are close, he is successful. He is having those big plays, and that's one of the things it's kind of that double-edged sword that we were joking about at halftime. It's double-edged sword with Travis Jones because he's such a quick strike element where you hand the ball off to him, first play of the drive, he gets 2, knocked down. This next time you hand it off to him on the second play of the drive, he goes 78 yards for a touchdown, and your defense is back on the field. So it's really a double-edged sword. I think they're doing a good job finding balance with the running backs, mixing Ray Brown, Sean Bowman, Travis Jones, letting Kelly Hall pull it on the read and let him take it. But ultimately, I think it comes back to exactly what you said.
Yeah.
Need to play high percentage completion on the passing football. Passing side of the football game, and you need to run the ball effectively on first and second down to set up a short passing game and set up a third and manageable. They've done a good job eliminating penalties, only 2 penalties for 21 yards in that first half. That is very, very good. That is winning football. But now they need to execute. They're playing discipline. Yeah. They're avoiding penalties and avoiding the stupid, silly mistakes that we've been making here for years, and we're finally cutting that down. Now it's time to put it all together.
Put it all together and make some plays. Once again, also protect Kelly in the backfield. Give him time to adjust, and whether he's going to adjust and throw or hand the ball, give him time to get this play unfolded. He has not had the time really to run many plays. And
one thing I think of looking at the defensive side, I know there's a lot to improve on in the second half on the offensive side with Averett only putting up 6 points. But when I look at what Maryville is doing offensively, I think any time that they bring in freshman running back Chenier, just after seeing him, the couple of plays he got in that burst, I'd honestly have Reeves spy him every time he comes in the game, because when he came in, the ball went to him. The play was based around him. He may not have played much, but when I see him in the backfield, I'd key him, because when he comes off the line of scrimmage or comes out of the backfield, he is shot out of a cannon. He reminds me of Travis Jones with the way he explodes down the field. He looks like a big play threat, and Maryville used him very sparingly in that first half, but he sticks out when he's in there. He does not look like Whitlock. He does not look like Rokins, their other running back. He's much smaller, and you don't expect it from him, but he has got some burst off that line of scrimmage, and I expect Averett to key on him when he comes in the ball game in the second half.
That's right. Same. Well, I totally agree, and the same would be, and as we look at some of the stats, we're almost double in first downs with Maryville. 16 first downs, and we only have 6. Rushing yards, my goodness, 21 carries, 127 yards, rush yards, and look at our stat. I mean,
and this is a rushing defense of Averett that averagely gives up over 390 yards per game. That is a very bad number defensively. Now it's a little skewed. They played one less game because, just like LaGrange, that game was canceled a couple weeks ago, so that affects the average number. But they also played teams like Washington and Lee that only run the ball and ran it for 600 yards.
Exactly. But Dean, here's the key: is the total offense. 42 plays for 295 yards. We have 30 for 105.
Yeah,
we're not moving the ball effectively, and that is what we see, and that's what we want to see. Coach Adams, that in that locker room, the adjustment is we got to keep Kelly on the field. We got to give him protection, and we got to give him time enough to play ball.
Look who's the first one leading the team out of the tunnel, aside from the specialists, and all of us that have played football know the specialists are out first.
Yes.
But look who was leading the rest of the team out the tunnel, Mr. Number 5, Mr. Kelly Hall.
And he's fired up,
too. He looks like he's ready to go and ready to take this one back from Maryville.
Yeah, and that's one of the strengths that Kelly has. That's what I love about how he plays. He's always ready to play football.
Well, we're about 5.5 minutes away from the resume of action here at Daly Field, Averett University's North Campus in Danville, Virginia. Beautiful day of football. The foliage, the weather, the crisp air, everything, it's all set up for a great Saturday afternoon here. But right now, we're going to decide, make important decisions, Rodney. It's our Trophy and Sign Center Player of the Half.
Player of the Half. Okay, well,
Close, but no trash can.
I'm going to give that one to you.
Well, I'm going to go a little off script. Usually, I know I am known for almost always picking an offensive player for player of the half and player of the game because I'm a little biased. But today, I'm actually going to switch it up, and I'm going to look directly at the defensive side of the football to somebody who saved 2 touchdowns for us on that left far sideline, and that's Jamal Forney.
Yes.
He made a couple of fantastic defensive plays, and he got burned on one play down the far sideline in the second quarter, but he made some serious plays on the football, defending on the far sideline, heading toward the field house, prevented 2 back-to-back plays that could have gone for touchdowns, making breakups and adjusting very well. He's tied for the lead on the team with 5 tackles. He's got 5 total tackles, those 2 pass breakups, and both those breakups prevented touchdowns. Jamal Forney, you are my trophy and sign center player of the half. You had a great half. Let's keep it up in the second.
Keep it up in the second half, and those are the adjustments that we're going to see with Coach Adams in this second half. It's really I foresee, as we saw Kelly Hall coming out of the tunnel like a madman, and I believe we're going to see a different ball game this second half.
I certainly hope so. Averett down 24-6, an 18-point deficit here for the Cougars. Of course, gave up a big lead last week to Greensboro, had a big lead against Methodist 2 weeks ago, still won the game, but Methodist came back, put points on the board. We definitely like to see Averett come out and fight and at least make this one a little bit closer than the 18-point deficit we have right now. Thank you for listening to our Domino's Pizza halftime report. My name is Matt, the Dean of AU Sports Johnson, and he is the radical one, Rodney, the mailman Harper. He always delivers.
Yes,
and we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have our second half of action resume here at Daly Field, Danville, Virginia, Averett University's North Campus, homecoming.
Yeah, not only that, real quickly before we go to break, we were talking about this is actually the groundbreaking for the new stadium.
It is, yes,
coming
it is.
up by Wilkinson Realty, and they'll be doing the groundbreaking proceeding of this game for our new facility that'll be coming up. So we're looking for some great things in the near future with
that'll be a brand new
Sports
facility next season.
Yeah.
That we'll be ready to run and operate.
I don't know if I can contain myself. we may be on camera, man.
See, that's what we need when we get this new facility. Have us just like Phil Simms, Jim Nantz, all those big time names.
Why'd you say Phil Simms? Let's go to break, man.
Because hey, people listen to him, right?
They do. We don't want to tell why. We'll be right back with the second half of play. The Maryville Scots, they're leading 24-6 over the Averett University Cougars, and we will return with a wonderful game, man. Right back in just a moment. And welcome back, sports fans. We're back here live with a wonderful day of football. Averett University Cougars taking on the Maryville Scots. Scots up 24-6 as we get ready to start the second half. And I'm Radical Rodney, the mailman, sitting right beside the dean of sports.
That's right,
Rodney Johnson, man. And what do you think, man, as we kick off?
Well, I think it's a great day for football, and it's been a tough half for the Averett Cougars to start things, but a high kick from Hobie Proctor and a nice contain on the return. And it looks like Maryville will set up inside their own or right at their own 30-yard line. And really, as we talked about during our Domino's Pizza halftime show, thank you for joining us again on Averett Sports Network here in Danville, Virginia. Averett University's North Campus Daily Field, proud sponsors of Averett Athletics. A little bit of a tough half for the Cougars going against the second-place Maryville Scots here in the USA South. But as we talked about, this defense looking to make some adjustments against this rushing attack of the Scots. Let's see if they can. Here is Whitlock up the middle and a nice stop right at the 30-yard line.
Nice
DeJean Whitlock, who's carried the load for Maryville from the halfback spot so far.
And Pittenger is coming back out in play behind the taking the snaps.
And
this second half, Pettinger
had split one series with Nick Myers, the backup quarterback for Maryville. They've definitely rotated roles more earlier in the season. Only one drive for Myers as Pettinger looks deep down the right sideline and overthrown was his intended target. That looked like Mario Williams. I believe that was Mario Williams on that right-hand side.
That looked like, was that number 7?
I thought it was number 3. It could have been. It could have been Kimbrell.
Yeah.
Either way,
nevertheless,
Pettinger.
it was overthrown.
So that sets up a 3rd and 10 for Pettinger with Whitlock in the backfield to his left. They're actually going to shift now. Whitlock to his right. He's got a wing. Wing goes in motion. That's his tight end. Handoff.
Takes a
play
snap.
action.
Play action, and he's tucking in a run. He's going to run. He saw that, and you were saying earlier how the middle of the field is staying wide open.
And even when he's not throwing it, he's tucking and running it. He's getting into that next level.
Yeah, that's secondary.
A very nice tackle by Hunter Shepard and the rest of that AU defense as they force Pettinger to run backwards, trying to go forwards. And it sets up a 4th and short, and here comes Travis Jones in the punt return unit for the Cougars. And this is one of those moments where we have to stay on our toes. What is Travis Jones, number 13, going to do all the way back there?
That's exactly right. So we're going to see here in just a second. We'll see in just a second.
Here's Max Peets, the freshman punter out of Colorado. We called his name earlier. Nice spiral punt.
He's pushing
and
Jones
good
back,
coverage.
and the special teams on the play. The special teams of the Scots on the play.
Well, that's one of those situations where Travis Jones needs to not let his eyes get bigger than his stomach, to use that phrase. Learn to call the fair catch, try not to lose yardage, but really doesn't make too much of a difference in the field position scheme of things. And here comes Averett getting ready to start the drive from their own 18-yard line.
Good 3 and out, and good 3 and out for the defense. Let's see if Averett University can strike not too quickly, play that game of chess, and get the ball moved down the field.
That's right, and here's Kelly Hall with Travis Jones in the backfield. Quick swing pass to to Jones on the right-hand side. He's going to pick up a handful of yards before he's knocked out of bounds. That should set up a 2nd and 4.
Yeah.
Travis Jones, as we mentioned, he scored the lone touchdown for the Cougars in the first quarter to put Averett up 6-0. 24 straight points for Maryville since that score. Jones 13 carries, 28 yards, and a touchdown. That was his first reception of the game. Downfield, Kelly Hall, Terrence Owens caught.
And he's stayed on his feet for another 5 yards.
Inside the 40-yard line.
Yes.
Terrence Owens.
Wow.
And that's what they call going after the ball at its highest point.
Highest point. That's what, a 30-yard gain?
Yeah, and that comes after a 42-yard reception in the first half for Terrence Owens. So on that one, give him 41 on that reception. Here is Ray Brown up the middle. Good push by Wilson Gregory. That's a good job by the right tackle, the sophomore Wilson Gregory. I remember the Methodist game, I got on him a little bit about a holding call, but that's a great job to see that the running back run into the pile and get behind and push. Yes. That is an illegal play in high school, but in college you can push the pile like that. So that's good awareness by the sophomore right tackle.
Good awareness. And
here comes Hall. Downfield again, going for Owens.
Going for it all.
And incomplete.
And I was watching as that play unfolded. Coach Adams was just irate with the defense. Or I don't know if that was an irate in a negative or in a positive. But he was nevertheless pushing them in the right direction, firing them up. And I think that's what this team is going to need continuously to come out in the second half on fire.
And one thing that I'm looking to see is what they run here on a third down. Averett does not necessarily like to throw the football to the sticks. They like to throw it behind the sticks and see if they can run and get it this time right at the sticks, and a beautiful throw and catch for the first down.
For the first down.
That is going to be Michael Barber Jr.
Wow.
He's had a couple of great games for the Cougars receiving. One of the leading receivers for Averett.
A couple of great catches, man, for some touchdowns in earlier games. And it's all drops back, passes again.
And it's complete to Owens.
And he's still on his feet. Down
the right-hand side. Wow. And close to the 5-yard line.
Indeed.
A great job by Terrence Owens.
Tackled by number 44, Austin Newton, a senior of the Scots.
And as we look at the receivers, Terrence Owens came into this game, 18 receptions, 299 yards, and a team-high 3 receiving touchdowns. Terrence Owens, a big play threat. He's a big, tall, wide receiver, and he's got some hands. Here is Hall. Rolls to his left. Good block from Travis Jones. And
fumbles the ball. And
the ball is on the ground, and it looks like Kelly Hall was able to recover.
Knocked out by number 30.
And it looked like it was Kelly Hall who was able to fall back on top of it.
Ron McGriff?
Yep, that was McGriff, the freshman linebacker for Maryville, able to come on top of it. Or come on top of Kelly Hall as he recovered.
Yeah. Wow.
Definitely ball security an issue right now.
One of there again, we're back to square one about protecting Kelly, giving him time.
That's the second time we've seen Averett be able to hop onto a football that hit the ground with a fumble. Here's Hall again, pressure, drops it again. Picked up by Ray Brown and taken down. And the AU faithful getting a little restless after that. It's back-to-back fumbles. The third fumble of the game by Kelly Hall.
But Kelly Hall, he's not getting enough time in the backfield to produce any type of offense. And the offensive line has got to give him time. It's crucial. It's crucial that he gets time in the backfield.
Here is Hall. He's got Ray Brown to his right. That is going to be Walker in motion to the right. Hall looking to throw on 3rd and goal from forever. Downfield, end zone, incomplete. Intended for Miles Bennett, one of the conference's leading receivers.
Hall takes a hit.
And he looks like he's up. Looks like he wants to go for it, but Averett's sending in what looks like the field goal unit. And we saw Chase Bailey miss the extra point, the backup kicker for Averett on the last touchdown for Averett to open the game. And we saw Bailey kick the extra point off the upright.
Right.
And now Hobie Proctor is in to kick a field goal. It will be from the 14. That is a 31-yard field goal from the left hash. Good snap, good hold, and no good.
Wide to your right.
And
24-6, the score remains, and about 9:56 as we're into the third quarter. Consistency, Dean. Consistency. That's the key to this ball game, and not too bad of a first drive for the Cougars. However, consistency. If they can consistently come out and make plays.
Well, one of the things that can be extremely detrimental to an offense is driving all the way down the field, getting into the red zone, and having to kick a field goal. But when you have to kick that field goal and you miss it, That's very demoralizing to get to the red zone and not even get the field goal.
Right.
Let's hope that Hobie can have a short memory. That's
in the backfield. That's a
sack in the backfield.
Number 47.
That is going to be Deshaun Ferguson Daniels.
Yeah.
The freshman linebacker out of Lenore, North Carolina.
Was rolling out, and he was he's a speedster, but he was hunted down.
Bettinger has done a very good job eluding the pressure today from Averett. He does have 3 rushing touchdowns and leads the game in rushing yardage for both teams. He has 57 yards with his legs, 3 scores.
What a hit!
Nice interception.
Picked off by number 31.
It looks like that's Kevin Norcott with the interception.
Wow. Dean, so I was telling you earlier, I was watching Coach Adams, and you know, he was a defensive coach.
Yep.
And he was talking with the defense earlier as the last few plays, a few plays back, and as we can see, they've stepped up with an interception on the field. And a big interception.
Norcott, who missed all of last season with a season-ending knee injury.
Yeah.
Kevin Norcott's come back in the middle of this season. He missed the first couple games because of recovery and just getting healthy. Comes back. He's played a couple of great games. He comes up with a huge interception and puts Averett in great field position right there. Kevin, his brother, also played for Averett, a defensive lineman, Devin Norcott. I played with him. And here comes Bowman down the right side.
Down the right side. He may go all the way, and he's out of bounds.
Inside the 5-yard line.
In the red zone.
Sean Bowman, the freshman.
And the Cougars are making a run with 9 minutes.
And like I said, Bowman is a great change of pace back. He's right there between Travis Jones and Ray Brown, where he can do a combination of both. And here is Bowman again to the right, powering forward.
For the touchdown.
Touchdown, Cougars.
Wow. The tenacity, the approach to this run, this series of runs it's different. I'm seeing the Cougars come out with a total different approach. I believe the game plan was spoken pretty largely in that locker room at halftime, because you can see a different approach with both offense and defense with the Cougars.
Well, if you look at how this drive was set up, a big hit on the incompletion that turned out to be an interception, as this is the extra point. And it is good.
And it's good.
Hobie Proctor that time knocks it through the uprights on the extra point. But if you look at how that interception occurred, a big hit, ball gets batted in the air, and Kevin Norcott just able there to pick it off right there as it falls into his lap. That's a big momentum shift and a big demoralizing play for Maryville. This is an opportunity for Averett to come back on defense and make some more stops, maybe get another turnover, and really swing the momentum in this game. It's already in their favor. You have to look at it like a prize fight. Sometimes you come out and you lose the first couple rounds, but then you come out strong in the 5th or 6th round and you land a good cross, you land a good hook, and you're back in the fight.
Back in the fight. Kelly Hall on the sideline, just slinging, man. He is beefing him up, man.
Right now,
the cheerleader beefing him up.
Offensive line, giving those big boys some credit.
And that's needed. The offensive line gave him time to get the plays in motion and make sure that he can execute the plays and keep them in motion. So, and that's what we've been talking about, man.
And if there's one thing that an offensive lineman loves, he loves the quarterback coming up telling him good job.
Yes,
that
sir.
is always a good feeling. And I know my former quarterback is on the sideline today, and Kirk
What a
Brown,
hit,
the tight
man.
ends coach. But there is the return out to about the 25-yard line.
Special teams step to the plate, stop to play, the 25. And let me tell you, man, I don't know what the coach said in the locker room, but it's looking good.
We definitely noted that Kelly Hall came out of that tunnel with a totally different attitude, and he's ready to go here in this second half. But Maryville also trying to win this football game.
That's right.
And keep control of this conference that they've had for the past couple years. But this isn't Pettinger. This is Myers, who hands off to Whitlock. So now after the interception, they rotate the quarterback.
Yeah. That's interesting, which we kind of figured, which they can. They have that double attack that they can come with in the
And
quarterback position.
What makes it even more interesting is, does that count as a negative vote of an anti-vote of confidence on Pettinger in his mind?
No, I believe
he throws an
that's
interception and he gets taken out.
I believe that's a planned attack. I think they're utilizing both of them as a threat, because both of them are a threat. Pettinger's a threat, and Myers is a threat with his arm.
Myers has proven to be a very strong passer in the pocket. He's not afraid to step up, and he was willing to stand in there and take a hit to make a good throw. He's really impressed me with his pocket presence so far, and Pettinger has done a good job almost playing that Russell Wilson role of throws not there, scramble for a little bit, then throw it.
Pass number 10.
And a nice pass from Myers, but
accurate.
in and out of the hands
For number 3.
of Mario Williams.
Wow.
Your leading receiver in this game is Terrence Owens for Averett. He has 3 catches for 97 yards. Here is Myers. Takes the snap, play action, throws to the right. Complete to Williams, and a very minimal gain. It'll set up a third and about 9 or 8. Make it 3rd and 9. So the Averett defense stepping up to the challenge as they once again rotate that defensive line with a 4-man front. Averett running a very similar defense to a 4-2-5. Michael Reeves, kind of the hybrid safety linebacker role. He's in the slot on the near side. Myers takes a low snap, fumble, ball is on the ground. He picks it up and he's running. It'll set up a 4th down. And we have an injured Cougar on the field.
I could have turned ugly real quick.
It's actually going to be Kevin Norcott. We talked about him being hurt last year, but he's up and jogging off the field. He looks fine. He made that interception a couple plays ago. And here comes the punting unit.
Who's he talking about?
Wow.
Tackled by 56, yeah.
We are now.
So a big tackle by Hunter Shepard sets up a 4th down and a chance for Averett to have not the best field position, but a chance to put him in a 1-score game if they can come down and score on this drive. Here's a good punt.
Booming high punt.
End over end and fair caught by Travis Jones as he falls down just past the 20-yard line at about the 22, 23-yard line.
And that was the issue that we were speaking about, or we were talking about during the halftime show, was consistency, man. We're seeing some consistent ball movement with the Cougars now, and the defense has come out fired up and making some plays with 6 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Scores 24-13, and we're looking for some ball movement.
Well, if you look at it, Rodney, we had in the first half 30 plays for Averett, 105 yards.
Yeah.
11 plays in the second half, 103 yards.
Right.
So a big change so far here in the second half is here is Sean Bowman to the left side. I don't think he got back to the line of scrimmage.
And it's going to be at the 20.
Sean Bowman brought down by
23.
And once again, that offensive line has been a little inconsistent, as we've said today. They've had their moments of really run blocking very well, but the pass protection, I don't know if it's in sync with the slide protection or what's happening with that, but they have given up a couple of sacks. And here's Bowman again.
Bowman again, and he breaks through the middle. He's at midfield. Wow. What a run by Bowman. Now, I'll tell you, it's Bowman has stepped up to the plate today, and what a great run getting to midfield for the Cougars.
6 carries, 75 yards, and that last touchdown as Kelly Hall is sacked again. That time, number 55, rushing into the backfield, Everett Cleveland, the junior defensive lineman out of Georgia, busting through the Averett front.
It's 2nd down and 20 for your Cougars.
Some of these stunt defense plays, man, is what gives them that opportunity to get in the backfield. But there again, we're seeing that they're able to run over our front line.
Here's the handoff to Bowman, and he's going to be wrapped up a little bit past the 41, but really as we see the substitutions for a long third down come in. Jonathan Clark, number 11, that defensive end. Really, even on that last sack with Everett Cleveland, it seems like Averett's struggling in slide protection, which is one of the more simple protections, at least mentally, in understanding the concept of it, but it can be a very difficult protection depending on the defense. It looks like Maryville's really had their number in that game so far. This time, good protection, fires, but nowhere close to the marker.
We're talking about that midfield
Terrence
attack,
Owens.
but to know that you got to get some yardage in that. You can't just depend on a catch and no run.
And that is Terrence Owens with his 4th reception, give him over 100 yards on the afternoon. His 2nd straight game over 100 yards receiving, as last week against Greensboro, Owens really broke out, had a career afternoon out of Brooksville, Florida, had a career high 132 yards receiving on 8 catches, also scored 2 touchdowns against the Greensboro Pride today, again over 100 yards on 4 catches.
Wow.
So Terrence Owens really having almost blocked on that punt. But instead, here's a good Averett bounce. It'll be inside the 20, close to the 10-yard line, and a very, very lucky bounce by Hobie Proctor, and very lucky that wasn't blocked.
Be able to get that one off, man.
Yes.
I will tell you. Yeah. 3 and out, and Averett's back. Defense is back on the field, and that's one of the things I've been. I hate to sound like a broken record, but we wanted to avoid is giving them the opportunity to rest. However, Coach Adams is like a cheerleader on that sideline with that defense, man.
And they've played good here in the second half. They played very well. As here's Pettinger to the left side, ball in that left hand. He can run the football for a quarterback.
He's very fast. Quarterback and
he's very nimble. He really knows how to utilize his blockers well to maximize and protect his body. That is the type of running quarterback you want. As you mentioned, you were just mentioning again how we keep talking about the time Averett's defense spends on the field. Averett 2 for 10 converting third downs right now in this ball game. That is very tough to overcome.
Pettinger there on the chase.
Throws and incomplete.
Second and 10 with 2:55 left in the third quarter. Score 24-13. Scott's over the Cougars thus far, but looks like the Cougars got a little fire in them.
And one little factoid for you. We mentioned that this is the second straight. Factoid, yes. That's what it is. We mentioned this is Terrence Owens' second straight 100-yard receiving performance in a row. This is actually his 4th career game going over 100 yards, so moving up in receiving lore is almost a big hit.
My goodness.
That's a good throw from Pettinger. When you know that contact's coming and you got streaks, you might as well throw it over everybody's head, and you got an intended target somewhere. But that pressure was coming right up the middle. A good blitz dialed up by Pete Shaw, the defensive coordinator of Averett.
And I can hear some of the crowd members, some of the crowds screaming, "Good defense, good defense." So 3rd and 10.
And honestly, that's something that this crowd has really struggled to watch. I mean, we mentioned in the pregame how much points this Averett defense has given up. They've had flashes of absolute greatness, but they've really struggled in terms of giving up points to a lot of these teams. And Maryville right now, only 24 here in the third.
See if they can get a stop.
And
they do. They do.
Great play by Dante Gilbert, the senior cornerback.
Stepping to the plate. And that's a 3 and out for the Maryville Scots, who played a pretty dominant game when it comes to passing and getting third down conversions the first half. We can see a change in play in this series.
And looking at Maryville coming into this game, 5-1, 2-1 in the conference. Their only loss came to North Carolina Wesleyan, where that was their only win. So really, this is a Maryville team that, while they have the record that shows that they are a great team in this conference, that loss to North Carolina Wesleyan raises some eyebrows as Travis Jones starts going backwards.
And as you said before, and that's one of take the fair catch.
Yes.
Take the fair catch. He lost 5 yards backpedaling because of wanting to get positive yardage. And I understand, but take the fair catch.
Don't let your eyes get bigger than your stomach.
That's exactly, that's right.
But Travis Jones thought he saw some daylight, ended up going backwards. He loses.
And Coach Adams is furious on the field right now. I don't know what's transpired.
Usually when you see a situation like this, he wanted a penalty. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he was looking for a holding.
Or face mask. They were going for
face mask too, yeah.
Yeah. Furious on the field.
And that would have been a big penalty because that's an automatic 15-yard penalty on a face mask. Really shift field position here for the Cougars, but instead it's Kelly Hall handing off to Sean Bowman, the freshman, again busting through the offensive line, and he took a shot. But he gets up and he's fine. Looks like he took it in the shoulder. He looks fine.
Yeah, it's a
big hit, but
he's a freshman. He's young. He can handle it. We can't.
Right. We can't. That's why we're up here in the press box, Robbie.
Yeah, you're right. Kelly Hall takes a snap, hands off again, and
Bowman really doing a good job.
Into the plate, man. With a third and manageable, as you would call it.
Definitely a third manageable. We'll call it 3rd and 3 right here. Bowman's really played a good game so far. Looking at his numbers, 8 carries, 81 yards, and a touch. You can't ask much more out of him. Travis Jones, 13 carries, 28 yards, and a touchdown. But the Maryville Scots have had their eye on him.
Yeah, well, any time that he grasps that he has the ball's handed off to him in the backfield. They're going to hone in on him, man, and that's his.
Hall going to roll out.
Option.
Brown on the completion. First down. Cougars. That is only their third down conversion of the game.
As we were talking about earlier, that's important. That's the vital issue in any ball game. You get those third down conversions. They're managing the ball, man. They're managing the ball, keeping the defense fresh, keeping them off the field. And that's the key to this game for the Cougars.
Here is Hall, drops back, looking left, has a man. It's Terrence Owens.
Yes,
and complete. It is complete.
It's it.
Terrence Owens. Wow, what a catch by Terrence Owens.
And he had to backpedal to grasp that catch.
It was a little bit underthrown. Kelly Hall put a little too much air underneath it, but Terrence Owens able to come up with yet another grab. I believe that was T.O. It was. Here's the handoff. Bowman cuts back to the left. A great run.
Wow. And Bowman is stepping up to the plate.
He is playing a man's game now. Sean Bowman, the freshman. That's a great cutback and then plowing forward and going downhill running.
That's right. In their play calls, they're honing in on Jones. Jones comes in from the backfield. He's being double teamed, but they're not doing that with Bowman. And as we can see, what transpires with that.
And the rushing attack being effective enough that play action working well. Bowman
breaks through again up the middle.
And he's going to be stopped short. Looks like he's stopped at the 2. A very, very good tackle by Maryville. That looked like Hunter Parrish on the tackle. That is a touchdown-saving tackle and a very strong
As the crowd unfolds, and the time is running out in this third quarter. I don't think they'll have time enough to get a playoff.
They got 7 seconds. I think they're going to let it run. Or maybe not. Hall takes the snap, hands off, keeps it, looks to run, and no, he's going to be stopped short.
Short of the goal line.
That will set up a 2nd and goal as we move to the 4th quarter.
24-13, and now the game's starting to get a little interesting, Dean.
That's right. As we move into this 4th quarter, it's a 2-possession ball game. Averett getting ready to drive. Averett looking to make this a 1-possession ball game. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, stay with us here on AU Sports Network. My name is Matt, the Dean of AU Sports Johnson. I am joined by the radical one.
Yes, and the postman. And real quickly, just want to say thank you to some of our sponsors before we go to break. Piedmont Glass and Chick-fil-A.
Buffalo Wild Wings, Golden Leaf Bistro, Daily 7. Really, we can run down the list. In fact,
Coca-Cola,
we will. Stay with us here on AU Sports Network. We'll be right back with the 4th quarter after these commercials. And welcome back to AU Sports Network. My name is Matt, the Dean of AU Sports Johnson. And they go for the carry on 2nd and goal. It's Bowman stopped shy, but it'll set up a 3rd and goal for the Cougars.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Dean. I missed that first down. I'm going to leave it there, okay?
Well, that's why
you don't even have to articulate.
I got your back.
Yeah, thank you. You don't even have to articulate on that. I just wanted to say that. I missed that first down. So, anyway, 3rd and goal.
That's right. And here's Kelly Hall with Bowman in the backfield. Travis Jones on the sidelines. Bowman.
There's a keeper.
That's actually Hall on the keeper. And he should be in. There it is.
He's punching in for the touchdown. And
touchdown.
Yes, sir. Cougars. As the Cougars are on the move, 19-24, the start of the 4th quarter. And, of course, the extra point will make it 20. And we got ourselves a ball game, as we would say.
That is right. The second play of the 4th quarter, and what do you know? It's what we've been talking about, another 3rd down conversion.
Those are the things that you are pretty much common sense in the game of ball when it comes to teaching and learning.
And they're going to go for 2. And we have a flag. It looked like Averett had Kelly Hall under center. There was a false start. That'll push him back 5.
Maybe they were going to go for 2. And they're still deciding. I think after you get that penalty, you may want to.
Looks like they're still going to go for it.
Wow.
Hobie Proctor did miss that 31-yard field goal earlier. But they're going to still go for 2. Now remember, this would make it tieable with a field goal. Great play.
Reverse.
Fake. Brian Finney. And incomplete. Brian Finney had Kelly Hall wide open. Brian Finney, a former quarterback, could not make the play.
Wow. And you said wide open. I mean, you couldn't have got any more wide open than that. Standing there alone by himself. And
I absolutely love that play call, Rodney.
Yeah. Well, I would have loved it even more if we would have converted, but that's okay. I understand. Wide open. He was wide open in the corner.
Well, it's still a one-possession ball game.
Yeah.
And it's 24-19, but Brian Finney, in his freshman and sophomore year, was a quarterback here at Averett.
Mm-hmm.
Really good arm, really strong arm. That time they go for the reverse, the Wildcat to Travis Jones, and he pitches it to Finney, and he just could not find Kelly Hall running the wheel route in the corner of the end zone, but a great play call by Shannon Johnson. That is trust in your players to call that in a 2-point conversion situation, and honestly, it worked.
It did work.
Kelly Hall was open.
It worked then. It was just, like you said, could not convert. Execution could not convert. So we have ourselves a ball game. One possession ball game.
And here's a nice kick from Proctor. Mm-hmm. Going to be returned and easy stop.
Wow.
He's not even going to make it to the 20-yard line. That was Stavorius Kimball, the sophomore cornerback.
Just interesting to see thus far, whereas we're just started in the 4th quarter, the difference in stats now. The first downs, the rushing yards, the difference in stats, the time of possession, because you can see the different ball club as the AU Cougars are starting to attack.
And it's rejected.
Yeah, in your face.
You know, I'm used to saying that rejected call when it's Carter Jones coming over the middle of a basketball with a huge block, and I love to throw out that rejected in the paint, but that time it's the defensive end. Looked like Don Warren on that right side, able to get his hands up and make a big play on that short pass. And as you said, time of possession, Averett now leads in time of possession in this ball game. It's really shifted here in the second half. Here's the option.
Pettinger on the option.
Pitch. Pettinger hurdles tackled. And that is a play that will give every single coach agita. Yeah, and I don't know if you're familiar with that Italian term, agita.
Yeah,
but
exactly
you don't want it.
You don't want it. You don't want to see your quarterback doing that in any situation. However, Pettinger being he's tough as nails. He don't mind taking a hit. Because he runs it a lot. So
the second leading rusher for the Scots on the season.
Yes.
Now looking to the sideline on the check call. Averett's defense doing the same with their sideline. Pettinger, it's a 3rd and 7.
Ball on the 25, and
Whitlock to his left in the gun. Pettinger takes a snap, low snap, has a read, throws, and complete. Great snag over the middle. That is going to be Michael Smith.
That's your favorite play, in the middle, right there in the middle.
I know, I love slants. All my friends,
make sure
everybody I played football with and played Madden video games with, everybody knows I love to run the slants, and that's what they did right there. Michael Smith, Evan Pettinger hit him right in the hands, and that's got to make the play if you hit him in the hands. Man in motion is the tight end. Fakes the handoff to Whitlock. Throws left side and complete. And then they actually say incomplete. They wave it off.
Yeah, he was out of bounds.
He started pointing to the spot where he went out of bounds. I thought it was complete. Instead, he waves it off.
Great job. No.
Would have been a great catch. Instead, it sets up a 2nd and 10.
Second down and 10 for Maryville. They have the ball on their own 35.
It's a very tough play to see from this angle. There's no way to tell if he had his feet in bounds, possession. I mean, we have to wait for a signal up here. Here's the handoff to Whitlock to the right side. Great blocking up front. He's got a first down.
He's got a first down and a little more. So.
Yep. And Michael Reeves brings him down out around midfield. Reeves always having his name called. He certainly does right there.
Scots are starting to open up their run with Whitlock in the backfield, and
Reeves, that is his 3rd tackle on the day. He's made some special teams plays, had that penalty called on him in the first quarter with the fair catch interference.
Right.
But otherwise, playing a very, very standoutish game for him, as he always does. Here is Pettinger, throws on the sideline, had to do his best to get rid of it. Draped in Averett Cougars right there.
He was, and that's good for him to get rid of that ball without taking the loss of yards.
And again, that's a very veteran move. I mean, a lot of guys would either take that sack or try to force it to a receiver. I mean, if you're out of the tackle box, throw it in the dirt. Make sure it gets past the line of scrimmage. Throw it in the dirt. Live to fight another day.
That's exactly right.
Here's Pettinger. Takes a snap. Hands off to Whitlock to the left. Here comes pressure, and he is taken down. A gain of about 5. And then Averett's pursuit of the running game has gotten a lot better, I think.
Much better. Much better. And not only that, like I said, they're now, and who's that coming out of the
That's going to be Reeves coming out. He lost his helmet, so he has to come out for one play by rule. If you lose your helmet in play, it pops off. You have to leave the field for one play, and then he can go back in. So Reeves off the field for this play, getting his helmet fixed.
Wow.
And it looks like in steps in number 9, Josh McNair.
And I'm learning the rules as a lot of
you can see they're having trouble communicating with McNair. He's lined up, throws away from McNair.
They take advantage of that. They take advantage of that, and with a first down, and again.
And here goes Reeves getting back on the field.
Again, why can't he just get up and put his helmet back on and get back in the game?
Safety rules, trying to make sure players, referees, and NCAA officials, and this is even a rule in the NFL, need to make sure that the helmet is fully strapped up. Right. You should not lose your helmet in a play. So as a consequence, you lose your helmet, you're out for a play, and you live to fight another day. Here's Pettinger, pitches out, and fumbled.
Almost a ball.
Fumbled along the other sideline, but it goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Maryville.
Wow.
But back to that, Rodney, it's a rule that's been implemented in the past couple years, but no matter who it is, no matter what team, you lose a helmet mid-play, you have to leave. You have to exit the field for one play, get your helmet restrapped, and get ready to go back. Too many people getting hit and losing helmets, and got to make sure you protect that
protocol. It has a lot to do with it, so I'm sure it's better. Yeah, I'm from the old school. We wear helmets.
Leather helmets, right?
Our head. This was your helmet. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Anyways, all right. He's airing it out.
Hand side, Mario Williams. Wow.
3. Wow. That was.
And he had Dante Gilbert beat.
Talking about the speed of this young man, Mario Williams. The speed.
He had Dante Gilbert beat down the sideline. Gilbert did his best to recover, but Mario Williams, I believe he's a freshman wide receiver.
Yeah.
He is. He's a true freshman wide receiver out of Columbia, Tennessee.
And not a bad pass by Pettinger.
It was right on the money. It hit him in the fingertips.
11:08 left in the ball game. 24-19. This is one possession score. What can we say?
That's right. Averett down by 5. It's 24-19. Timeout on the field. It will be Pettinger calling it for Maryville. They will have 2 timeouts remaining for the game. So a 2nd and 12. You're down in distance. 11:08 remaining in the fourth quarter. Averett's defense looking to make a 3rd down stop, and we are going to take a commercial break, Rodney.
Why?
To give this voice a break and let our viewers get a look at some of our fantastic sponsors that allow us to put on the performance that we are today, who we all thank here at Averett University. Stay with us here on ASN. We will be right back in just a moment. And welcome back to Averett Sports Network.
It was short break, though.
Very short timeout. As you got to see 2 of our many sponsors. Here's Pettinger. Fakes the handoff, looks to throw, steps up in the pocket, now scrambles. And wrapped up. Great tackle. That looks like Kenneth Covington.
And that's one of Pettinger's.
That is out of Durham, North Carolina, the sophomore defensive end, Kenneth Covington, making a big play. That's how you wrap up on a solid runner.
That's one of Pettinger's strengths, is he's able to come out of the option and run for it, and they're going for it. They're going for it on 4th down.
It's going to be a 4th and 6 for Maryville. It'll be a timeout on the field. Averett's first timeout. I think that's a good timeout by Coach Adams. I think this is a good timeout in the sense that you're giving Maryville an opportunity to overthink this.
Yeah, well, the fans, I think he should have kept that timeout. However, I'm with you. I think it's
honestly, I'm actually all for Coach Adams taking this timeout. I think you give him this timeout, and you got Maryville going over to the sidelines, and they might be rethinking this 4th and medium. I think Coach Adams is telling his team the same thing he told them on the last timeout. We're going to probably play a base, make sure you hold your gaps, and keep everything in front of you. I don't think he's doing anything different with this timeout. I think this is an opportunity for Maryville to really come out and have to be careful, because I think they can overthink this situation.
Right.
Going for it with a lead right here, I don't think their kicker has the leg strength to hit this, what would be a 48-yard field goal from here.
Exactly.
So, as a coach, I definitely think about going for it, but
a stop here is we need a
stop here is huge.
It's huge for the Averett University Cougars.
Here's Pettinger. Now he's going to check. They try to draw him off sides. He's going to turn back and check. Whitlock switches sides. Tight end stays to the right.
They've got an open field. They got wide receivers all the way across the field.
Throw to the left, but pushes off and caught 1st down.
Wow!
I don't know how. And there it is. He did. It looks like it was a push off.
That's right.
On the wide receiver.
That's right.
Michael Smith, the freshman wide receiver, has had a fantastic game and was really showing up today. But let's see what this call is.
He took the flat.
Forney got him.
That's what. Wow.
Well, they did. Did he say 55 on the number?
I don't know what number he said, but I can tell you this.
I don't think it was on Forney.
It's.
If anything, I thought it was a push-off on Smith, the receiver, on Forney, but the pass interference could have been elsewhere on the field. I was actually looking at the left side where he threw the ball.
1st down.
1st and 10. A good play by a freshman wide receiver. Here comes Pettinger to the right side on the option. He's going to be taken down by a host of Cougars. He's still going to pick up 7.
Tackle by 50.
And that last play has shocked the crowd here.
All of a sudden, you can hear a pin drop here.
That's right. But, however, we continue to move forward. With 10 minutes left in the game.
And one thing this Averett defense really needs to do is continue to play responsible. Don't let that penalty change anything or that converted 4th down change anything. Continue to play tough.
Your momentum.
Here comes Whitlock. Looks like he picks up the first down, and this is, to me, this is fine. I still don't think this is any form of panic zone for this Averett defense because it becomes harder to move the ball the closer you get to the end zone. That's why it's the red zone and not the green zone.
That's exactly
You want to be in the red zone, so you want to call it the green zone, but it's tougher to put the ball in when you're that close. It limits your options, I think Averett really has an opportunity. If they can get some pressure on Pettinger, I think they can force him into making a bad decision and switch the momentum here, and Averett can get this ball back if they really play some sound, disciplined defensive football. Here's Pettinger going to roll out to the right, not even going to give the option on the throw. And he's going to hold it, and he's taken down.
The defense didn't bite. They watched, knew that he was going to be a keeper. They knew that he was going to hold on to that. They were watching every move. He had his sole intention was to run that ball, and he made it evident. So
he definitely wasn't looking to pitch it to Whitlock. That is for sure. But it sets up a 1st and goal, and a lot of opportunities for the Maryville Scots as they go in a bunched formation with 2 tight ends and a wing who's in motion, running, and touchdown. Nope.
No, he held him.
I thought he was in.
No, he held him.
And they hold him out at the 1-yard line. I thought Pettinger got over.
Yes, actually, he's 2 yards out. So
they got him right there at the 1. That's what it looks like to me. The rest of the ball is.
Smart guy back there.
Yeah, tackled at the 1. So a 2nd and goal set up for Maryville and Pettinger. What do you think they're going to do, Rodney? I think they're going to run that lead option again where it's either pitch or to keep it.
Pettinger seems to me that his whole intention is that he wants to score.
Well, he's already scored 3 rushing touchdowns this afternoon, so why not make it a 4th?
That's right.
And he's going to do it. Here comes the pitch option, and he's in.
And he's in
untouched. A walk-in touchdown for Evan Pettinger and the Maryville Scots, as that'll put them up 30-19, extra point pending.
And the drawback for the Cougars is that took a lot of time off the clock.
It did, and it kept their defense on the field. Let's see if Averett can bounce back with a decent drive of their own.
And this is one time that let's strike now. We're strike now, and just hope that our defense can get the ball back.
As here's Kyle Bennett on the good snap, good hold, and the kick is good. 7:59 in the 4th quarter. So Evan Pettinger, just to run some numbers by you, Rodney, 17 carries, 96 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And by the way, he's the quarterback.
Oh no, those
are halfback numbers.
He can't be.
those are James Wilson 2010 numbers against Greensboro with the 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. 31-19 is the score. 7:59, 8 minutes, we may as well say, left in this ball game.
But deep to return is Travis Jones and Sean Bowman, 2 guys. Bowman, who today has been spectacular out of the backfield and really running with authority and running with his shoulders low and square and with a purpose. I really like the way he's running today. But on that far side, you got Travis Jones, who's a home run hitter.
Yeah.
And if you're Maryville, you do not kick the ball to 13 right here.
Don't do it. And he can attack. He can attack quick. He can attack quickly. So as Maryville is about to kick the ball off, let's see where that direction is.
Here's Bennett. He's going to pooch it again over the head of Reeves, and it's going to be – it stays in bounds. Here's Bowman, and he's hit late out of bounds. A big flag comes out, and Bowman just stepped out of bounds the second he grabbed the ball, and Maryville came up and popped him.
Bad mistake for the Scots. That's a 15-yard penalty. It'll put them in good field position.
And it looks like that was number 28 on that penalty, Nick Baker.
After the play, personal foul, the kicking team. Number 20.
No, number 20.
First down, Averett.
Malik Crump, the sophomore defensive back with the late hit. That's a personal foul. So Averett had the new possession anyway, so it's a first down, but give him 15 from the spot out of bounds. That'll put Averett at a 1st and 10 from their own 37.
New set of downs for the Cougars. Kelly Hall takes a snap.
He's going to hand off to Terrence Owens on a jet sweep.
Wow.
That's the first time we've seen the jet sweep this week. 2 weeks ago, they ran it for a touchdown with Michael Barber right on the red zone. It was a 9-yard score, a very effective play. Right there, they gain a couple. And Miles Bennett.
Didn't see the laundry out on that one.
Well, Miles Bennett called for the hold. That'll push him back 10, make it a 1st and 20 to get this drive started. Averett shooting themselves in the foot here to get this one rolling. And the number one thing that you've been preaching about today is right here. You got to start giving Kelly Hall some serious time.
Got to give him some
this
time.
Is five-step drop territory. This is get the ball downfield territory. Exactly. If you're the Averett Cougars, here is the option on the triple. Hall going to keep it. Power forward, splits the defenders, takes a hit, and it's going to be a 2nd and manageable. That's a very good pickup from Kelly Hall.
For Kelly Hall, but there again. Those plays are few and far. You don't want him doing that all the time. You don't want him to have to take those type of hits, and then of course you want to give him time for that play to unfold.
Especially where he's listed at 6 foot, which I don't think he's 6 feet tall, and he's listed at 170 pounds, which he may not be quite 170 pounds. You do not want him taking hits like that. That is Sean Bowman, who is wrapped up by Jonathan Clark once again.
And Jonathan Clark's playing a tremendous defensive ball game today. He's he had quite a few sacks.
He has 2 sacks, and I believe that was his 3rd tackle in the game. He's had a couple of pressures, and he had that sack in the ball game earlier where he hit Kelly Hall from behind, forced the fumble that Averett did recover.
Right.
But really been a playmaker on that defensive line all day long. Jonathan Clark for Maryville. Here is Kelly Hall, drops back, looking left. Pressure comes and is sacked.
Once again. Kelly Hall having to tuck that ball and run because he has no time.
Ron McGriff and Everett Cleveland, I believe, were in on that sack. Excuse me, that was 54. That was Zach Capehart, the senior defensive lineman.
3 and out for the Cougars. 6 minutes left in this ball game, and time is running out, man. Time is running short.
Well, this is the part of the game where Averett needs desperately to get a turnover.
Needs a turnover. Needs a special team stop. You need a stop. You need the offense needs to stop. But there again, it doesn't do any good unless they give him time to execute the play.
One thing that I know Averett could use, if I'm Maryville, I'm not throwing the football, but if Averett needs anything, and he touched it.
Touch the ball.
Ball is live. Ball is live.
He got it away. Touchdown, Averett University. We just said a special teams.
That's right.
A special teams play.
Touchdown Cougars. The punt returner, that was number 7. Yeah. Stavorius Kimball. The ball bounced.
Dynamite job.
Every ball, first down.
And that is actually not going to be a touchdown.
Wow.
They say he was stopped short, but it is. You can't advance because he touched it in college. You cannot advance on the turnover on the punt. So the Averett offense will take over at, it looks like, the 12-yard line.
Right.
About.
Wow.
Yeah, the 13-yard line.
Okay. Now,
a turnover when you need it, that's a sophomore. That's a sophomore punt returner struggling to understand the situation. Let that ball roll and don't touch it.
Yeah, he was actually his whole mindset was to execute.
And Kelly Hall on the right side, all alone, out of bounds, close to a first down.
Yeah. A little low on the little. Wow. As the tide changes here, Averett University is in possession of the ball with a special teams stop.
And just like we said, needed a turnover. I was sitting here saying a biscuit with gravy, thinking a pick 6.
Yeah,
instead
nice.
we get a fumble recovery on the punt. Here is Bowman to the right side and in.
Punches it in. Touchdown. Bowman. Wow.
Sean Bowman's second touchdown of the game.
And these are the things that we've been talking about throughout the game is special teams stepping up to the play and, of course, capitalizing on your turnovers.
That's right. And right there, Averett recovers the fumble deep in Maryville territory. And what do? They keep it simple and they punch it home.
Right.
And still Averett with plenty of time to work with.
Plenty of time to work.
5 minutes remaining in this ball game. 4:59 to be exact. Is the extra point from Proctor. Good snap, good hold, and good kick.
31-26. 25, 26. That's it. I'm correct.
Not a math major.
Yeah, no.
Not a math major.
No, business is my deal. 5 minutes. 5 minutes, 4:59 left in the ball game, and Averett has struck back with a special teams play that has brought this game back to a one-possession lead, a one-possession game.
And how about Sean Bowman? I mean, 14 carries, close to 100 yards on the ground, a true freshman. Not to mention 2 touchdowns and that big touchdown right there that puts Averett back in this game after the turnover.
Yeah.
Really, the momentum has shifted a couple of times here, and Averett is very much in this football game.
Very much, and then I've been watching there again, Coach Adams on the sideline. He's a cheerleader. He's pumping them up, man. But they've got to play the game for themselves and
that's right.
Not make mistakes, capitalize on the mistakes of the other team, and that's exactly what they did in that series. Is they capitalized on the punt.
The fumble punt.
But I watched him as he was recovering from that punt. He was actually trying to get the ball to run it instead of calling for the fair catch.
I mean, if you're going to let it bounce at that point, once it bounces, you have to let it bounce and let the other team down it, because the second you touch that football, it's live.
It's a live
and it can
ball.
be recovered.
That's right. That's a flag on the play.
And it looked like it came out way after the play.
I think that's an unsportsmanlike conduct.
Let's see who this is on.
Maryville. I'm not going to. Yeah, the Averett players are pointing to that direction.
We'll have to see what the official word is.
Personal foul, number 7 on the return team.
Personal foul.
That's another big mistake by Kimball. He fumbled earlier on that punt that Averett just scored on, and now he has an unsportsmanlike penalty. Those are 2 very big mistakes by that sophomore.
He tossed the ball at one of the Averett University players, so I figured that's where the flag was late. So.
Well, you can't do that.
Yeah.
If you want to throw the football, play quarterback or center.
24 on the handoff.
As that is Whitlock to the left side.
Myers back in the game, taking the snaps again.
Maryville may be looking to try to put more points on the board.
Yeah, they're trying to get the ball down the field because the Cougars are in with the reach of getting this game back under their belt. They're taking their time to get back under.
Definitely letting this clock milk as much as they can.
Exactly.
And you look at Myers throwing the football in this game. He's 6 of 8 for 72 yards. It's a very, very efficient performance for him in his limited amount of snaps.
Ball's loose.
There's the run. They say the football is loose, but it looks like Maryville will hold on to it. It'll be third and short.
A stop here would be phenomenal.
Third down.
Averett down by 5, 31-26 your score, 3rd and 2, under 4 minutes to go in the ball game.
Myers back in the game with a strong arm.
Running that check,
of course,
and
we're definitely
a lefty too. A big mix-up right there. Shakes things up that he's a left-handed thrower.
The purpose is to run timeout.
And a big tip. And intercepted.
Intercepted by
Caleb Williams. The sophomore linebacker, Caleb Williams,
and
off the deflection, a big play.
Wow. The defense has really stepped to the plate. And I'm going to tell you, man, as I said before, we have ourselves a ball game.
And once again, a turnover deep in their own area and deep in their own zone.
Wow.
Giving it away to Averett. Averett making a play and capitalizing.
Right. 3:18 left in the ball game. The score is 31-26, and the Cougars are coming alive.
And now Averett with 3 minutes and 18 seconds left to go in this ball game, have a great opportunity.
Kelly.
As that's Kelly Hall right up the middle.
Right up the middle.
Running the good old QB blast right up 0. And all of a sudden, Averett has a chance to knock off the number 2 team in the USA South.
Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great?
Still got a lot of football to go. Here's Hall, hands off to Bowman along the right side. And flag on the play coming out from the umpire. When the flag comes out from there, it's usually on the offensive line.
Referee threw it.
Holding. Offense. Kickoff. Foul. Replay second down.
And that's going to set it back 10. So make it 2nd and 11. 2 minutes, 48 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter, 31-26. Averett trying to capitalize off of a big interception by Caleb Williams, a sophomore linebacker. Here is Hall after the holding penalty. He's got Bowman in the backfield. They've really turned to Bowman after Travis Jones struggles in the middle of the ball game. Here's Hall. Hands off to Bowman. Left side and tripped up. He will make it a 3rd and long.
3rd and long of this exciting.
Very exciting.
Man. Wow.
Maryville 5-1 overall. 2-1 in the USA South Conference. Averett 1-4 overall, 1-1 in the USA South. Their conference win coming against Methodist. Hall, end zone. And incomplete, almost intercepted.
Looking for an interference call on that, but that ball was definitely a floater.
Honestly, I think if there was an interference call on that one, it would have been on offense.
Yeah.
Terrence Owens, he's had a great game. He's got a career high in receiving yardage right now with 137, but he definitely bumped the cornerback on that one.
This is not even a question. It's just 4 down territory.
Yeah, I'd say it is.
Yeah.
So 1:59 left, 4th and 9. Hall hands off to Bowman. That is an interesting play call.
Interesting play call. Would you actually run that? I would have. Wow. Not enough for the first down. Change of possession with Averett University, and the wind is starting to flow. 1:53 left in the ball game.
Now, Rodney, we definitely need a turnover now.
Yeah. You can't. How many times do you want to go to the well to get water?
One too many.
Yeah, and that's it. And now you're putting the defense in a vulnerable position because now they really have to fight, which I believe.
All Maryville needs is 1 first down, and this is not a game that Averett can overcome.
Yeah.
It doesn't even look like Averett's going to be calling timeouts. I mean, Averett's got 2 timeouts. You can hope for a fumble or something, but everything in my body would tell me that Maryville would not throw the football here, so you have to try to strip it and get a fumble. But they're not calling their 2 timeouts.
Wow.
They ran it on 4th and 9 in the Maryville red zone. And here comes Pettinger to the left. He's going to be stopped short. That's a good tackle, but it's going to be a first down Maryville anyway. They're going to call him for a horse collar.
A horse collar, face mask. And I saw.
It could be called a face mask. I thought he got his arm around, so it was a horse collar. It's a tough angle to see from here in the box. But we'll see what the call is on the field. It should be expected that it'll be a first down Maryville.
Personal foul, face mask, number 26.
And you're right. You called that right there. Good eyes, Rodney.
I saw his head. I saw the direction of his head, and that made it pretty evident. But this is.
I thought I saw his arm get around and get the collar.
This is pretty much, the first down that he was looking for. We have a couple of timeouts left. 1:04 left in this ball game.
Really, in theory, Averett could get this ball back with maybe a couple of seconds to go, but they're not calling their timeouts. They do have 2 timeouts remaining. That was Caleb Williams with the personal foul on the face mask. Now, we say it's a personal foul because it's a face mask. All face masks are personal fouls. It's not the same as unsportsmanlike conduct, same yardage, but different penalty. Here is the handoff to Whitlock up the middle, shaking and baking.
Yeah.
Here he goes up the left sideline, stays in bounds. That's a very good move. And that will effectively put an end to this one on homecoming part 2, as a lot of the fans have gotten up and are starting to exit the building. And now Averett calls a timeout, which causes a groan.
Like, why continue on with this punishment? I mean, that's you have 31 seconds left in this ball game. They've got first down. All they have to do is kneel, and you got one timeout left. That's it.
I don't understand why the timeouts weren't called when there was double the time on the clock. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Nevertheless, 31-26, so 34.3 seconds left in the ball game. And, wow, yeah.
You wanted to cut me off there, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Well, all I can say is that after calling this game, Averett's really stepped up. I know it's on the scoreboard. It looks like another loss right now, and they gave up 30 again. But this is a Maryville team that was expected to be at least number 2 in this conference by the end of the season.
Right.
This is a team that beat Averett 50-0 2 years ago in Maryville.
Right.
This is a team that last year beat Averett 40-17 here at Daly Field. And this is a team that last year made the playoffs, had a couple of playoff wins, and now they come here and it's a 5-point ball game with 29.6 seconds to go. After some of the defensive performances and some of the overall performances we've seen from the Cougars this year, I think this is an extremely positive performance.
Right.
You hate to sit there and say that a loss is a positive, and you know something, it's almost impossible to truly mean it, but there's a lot of positive to take out of this.
Well, Dean, I've seen something out of the Cougars today that I hadn't seen, well, none this year, and that is the way they are starting to capitalize on the ball and special teams. And still would like to see Kelly Hall have more time in the backfield, more time to execute plays. But, however, I'm seeing something different out of them that I hadn't seen this year. And now so the opportunity is here. The score, and I will say this, the score does show that because, we've seen worse. Score-wise, so they're learning to capitalize, and the special teams are stepping up to the plate. Defense stepped up to the plate. Once again, I'd love to see some more work on the offensive line because they're not giving Kaylee Hall time enough to execute a good play series.
Well, that about covers it, at least for now. Coming up, your final score first is 31-26. Maryville takes the victory over the Averett Cougars here on homecoming part 2, Daly Field, Daly, Virginia, Averett University's North Campus. But stay with us here on AU Sports Network. Coming up, we have our Buffalo Wild Wings postgame show. Join myself, Matt, the Dean of AU Sports Johnson. I will be joined by the radical one, Rodney, the mailman Harper.
Dean, does that mean we get wild wings? Do we get wings?
I wish, Rodney. They used to do these wing competitions during the basketball games. And every game, I always volunteered myself to do these wing competitions at halftime,
That's smart.
I was going to do it on the air and eat my wings on the air while I did my show. But I guess Averett wasn't too fond of that idea. I guess they're just going to let me pretend that I could do something like that. But stay with us. Coming up, we have our Buffalo Wild Wings postgame show minus the wings, and we will break down all of the action here on homecoming part 2. Stay with us on AU Sports Network. For the radical one, Rodney Hopper, my name is Matt Johnson. We will be right back here after a quick commercial break.
Well, Dean.
Well,
yeah.
Another Saturday of football, and
Saturday
unfortunately for Cougar Nation, another Averett football loss where they lose to the Maryville Scots 31-26 in a nail biter, Rodney.
Yeah, and I want to say this, in reiterating, the Cougars played a good game. They did. They, as far as what I see, from the past, as far as utilizing what they have on the field, I see a different football team. I see
they're much different.
I see as far as special teams and defense stepped up to the plate. Like we said, execution was good, and some of the areas. Well, anyways, play call.
Well, basically what you're saying is right now we're going to get into our Piedmont Glass post-game analysis.
That's what I was trying to say,
on our Buffalo Wild Wings post-game show here on Averett Sports Network at beautiful Bailey Field, Danville, Virginia, Averett University, North Campus. And
yes, indeed.
I'd like to apologize for my horrible voice right now.
Oh, you're doing a great job. You sound like somebody who just called a game.
Hey,
what are you,
I'm riding with it. I'm riding with it, man. Yeah. But looking at our Piedmont Glass post-game analysis, it was a really kind of a shifty game in terms of momentum. Averett jumped out to the quick lead, 6-0, and then we saw 24 straight points by Maryville.
Right.
Averett battling back the whole step of the way, or every step of the way, making it 24-19 at one point. And then by the end of the game, Averett makes a failed fourth down conversion attempt running the football after 2 turnovers and having those incredible opportunities down at Maryville's own end, unable to capitalize, and Maryville holds on for a 31-26 victory. But in really what looked like a game that could have been a runaway for Maryville at halftime, leading by 24-6, really a big opportunity for them to just end it right there, and Averett stormed back. And to me, Rodney, that really says something about the direction of this program.
Yeah. Well, Kelly Hall came out in the second half with a different urgency. Urgency is the key word. He came out. We knew everything that he was doing. He capitalized, but he passed the ball well. He ran the ball. His mindset. You could tell that I want to win this ball game. Nevertheless, there again, one of the things that and this is something for the near future for the Cougars to work on is protecting the quarterback, man, and giving him time. That's one of the things in Maryville. I won't say that Maryville played a better game, as we can tell that 31-26 doesn't tell them to say that they played a better game. However, what it does say in watching the ball game is they gave Kelly Hall plenty of time not Kelly Hall, but Evan Pettinger, plenty of time to execute the plays. He had plenty of time to he ran the ball, he passed the ball. Not even with him, but Nick Myers. They ran he passed the ball for let's see, passing yardage here was enormous. Was it 214 yards passing? And I'm not going to be ashamed to say that 90% of them were Knicks. So you got to give my hats off to Maryville, but you got to give our quarterback time to execute, and that's what stunned us. That's what ended this thing for us. We're not going to talk about the last play. Let's just
well, we will at some point talk about that. I'm not going to go the post-game show without discussing it.
If we get this podcast thing rolling,
one thing I'm going to point to start off our post-game analysis is I'm going to look at the areas that we discussed in pregame, which was the defense for Averett and how often they're on the field and how many plays they are on the field for. And today it was 81. They were on the field for 81 snaps, Rodney, and we talked about it. And the number one thing I said to you that is going to win this game for Averett is if they give their defense rest, get them under 70 snaps, because it's great to have a quick strike offense. It's great to put points on the board. But if your defense is on the field for a half an hour, for 35, 40 minutes in a ball game, your defense, no matter who it is, how conditioned they are, they're going to get gassed. And the more opportunities you have to get beat, as good of a player as you are, the more opportunities to get beat, the more often you're going to get beat.
That's exactly
because
right.
the guys lined up across from you were trying to win that game too. And so the more plays you're out there, the more chances you have to get beat on any given play. And today it was 81 snaps for this Averett defense, and that's what I came in saying and preaching that Averett needed to do. Get their defense off the field, sustain drives on offense, and force 3-and-outs on defense. And once again, Averett was not able to do that.
My hats off to the defense because they did. They came to play, and we saw that on this field today. The defense stepped up to the plate, made the big plays when needed. Special teams made the big plays when needed, but however, just not enough time. Not enough time to execute on offense.
And really, a lot of it is this rushing defense of Averett. We mentioned it's a little different because Averett, with the game cancellation with LaGrange for the original homecoming date, they don't qualify for national ranking statistics in yardage averages.
Right.
So Averett came into this game averaging and allowed 390-plus yards of rushing. And that's a little skewed. They played an option team first game of the year, and they ran for like 670 yards because that's all they did, Washington and Lee. And then they played Methodist 2 weeks ago. They ran for over 300. Guilford ran for over 2. I mean, these teams have been running the ball on Averett. And Maryville, a team that really put it to Averett on the ground last year with, I remember, Schuler and Whitlock last year, as well as Pettinger. Those guys last year making a huge impact on the game. This year, it was really Pettinger and Whitlock being the main horses. We had a couple of guys that we thought stuck out, like Chenier. We thought he was going to, the way he exploded off the line of scrimmage, that they were going to utilize that in the second half. Turns out Maryville had other ideas, but Maryville still able to put 224 yards on the ground against Averett. And in the way, in this day and age that the offenses are setting up with the spread and how everybody's spreading it out to throw the football, Maryville and all these other teams that Averett has on their schedule are still running the football against this Averett Cougars defense. And to me, that's the most alarming thing of all. We talked about this offensive line play and giving Kelly Hall time. And we talked about improved play at quarterback, the offense putting points on the board. But right now, the number one alarm for this Averett team is their rushing defense.
Right.
They played better today. I think this was the best game, including the Methodist win, that Averett has played overall.
Oh, sure.
And really, they did not get the performance from Travis Jones they would have liked. That would have helped to a victory. He scored a touchdown, but still only 28 yards on the ground. Had very minimal special teams impact. Maryville took him out of the game, special teams-wise, kicking it away from him and such. But really, 4 for 14 on third down. They ended the game with 6 penalties for 70 yards. In the first half, they had 2 penalties for 21 yards. That is a big momentum shifter in the second half because in the second half, Averett outscored Maryville 20-7 in the second half, and yet they still had double the penalties that they had in the second half than the first half.
That's right.
You eliminate those penalties in the second half, who knows? Maybe that means instead of outscoring a Maryville in the second half 20-7, maybe it's 27-7, and then it's a 33-31 victory. Those penalties make a difference. The rushing yards allowed make a difference, and Averett cannot win as long as they continue.
Well,
to
let me add,
when
you were talking about the rushing yards with the Scots. You know, when your quarterback has the most, as far as rushing yards is concerned, then that can be an issue in itself. I mean, I know that Whitlock did a great job. He did a tremendous job, 81 yards total rushing yards.
And really, he seems to get very limited touches.
Yeah,
he was not their primary.
Yeah, he wasn't their primary approach. But however, there again, Pettinger was the quarterback.
Yeah,
and he's got 112 yards rushing. So that is an issue. You know, that can be an issue real quickly because he's not only that, you had him along with Myers, who also played in quarterback position, who was real tough passing down the field. And I'm very you're the same way. We're saying the same thing over again. We have to give our quarterback more time in the pocket. Sean Bowman did a tremendous job. Wow. This young man was a freshman this year, 114 yards in rushing. They did contain Travis Jones with only 31 yards of rushing. So, but that was the whole point. Nevertheless, we saw a tremendous job out of Sean Bowman, but I really we really need to see the offensive line step up and give. I don't know if there's stunts or whatever they need to do. This is one of the things I was asking you. We were talking about it right before we came on for this post game show. It says, what is the situation with when the quarterback is taking the ball when the players coming alive, the running backs blocking, going into some type of stunt. I mean. You got to give the man more time. I'm going to just round that up. Let's just call it what it is. We got to give the quarterback more time for the play to unfold.
And I agree with you. And I think today I thought the offensive line individually did a better job matching up against. It's hard to say it, but almost more talented defensive linemen than we have offensive linemen. I think they did a good job in the individual matchups. Yeah. What I saw was seemingly struggles in something simple as slide protection. Mm-hmm. We're seeing calls being slid away from a guy that had a great game in Jonathan Clark, where he's lined up on the left side of the offensive line, right, across from the left tackle, and the offensive line is running a 3-step slide protection play where they're sliding to the right away from him, and the running back has to come and slide over and pick up that defensive end, and he couldn't do it. And we did not see, at least in the first half, because Clark made a much less of an impact in the second half, but in the first half we saw him making an impact because that running back, whether it was Jones or it was Bowman, Ray Brown really didn't play too much in the first half, aside from when he carried the ball. He didn't really stay in there to block too much, but we saw the running backs really struggle in picking up number 11, Jonathan Clark, from Maryville. He ended up with 2 sacks, forced a fumble, had a third tackle that was a really, really impressive play. I mean, even if he was an unblocked player. Right. But it seemed to be a little bit of a struggle with the slide protection. But that's something that's very coachable and very correctable, and I was actually very impressed with the individual matchups of the offensive line against the defensive line. This is still a young core group up front.
That's right.
And it's something to look for improvement as the season goes on, but I think it's an improvement that we can all say that we have seen of late in this team. This is a much, much, much better offense than it was last year at this time. We can only hope that the defense continues to get better as they did today, because we talked about the 220-plus rushing yards today. The defense still played well. They still did a decent job. This is a very good Maryville team, and this is just how it happened to go today. But right now we're going to take a quick motion to our American National Bank Big Money Player of the Game, and I'm going to go first, Rodney. And I think this is an easy choice. I took for my player of the half Jamal Forney, cornerback senior, for his 2 plays back-to-back on the streak route, making touchdown-saving deflections. But for the player of the game, I'm going to go Sean Bowman. Had a net of 111 rushing yards on 17 carries. That's a 6.5-yard average per clip. He had a 30-yard run, and he scored 2 touches. He's a freshman running back, and really he's third on the depth chart behind Travis Jones and Ray Brown. So he's finding a way to get minutes. He's finding a way to get touches, and then he's utilizing it. And today, he looked like an absolute stud running the football.
Did you steal my thunder, man? I was going to say, Sean Bowman was tremendous. He was amazing of his play on the field. I mean, everything he did. Now we'll give it to our quarterback. He was a great cheerleader on the sideline coming out of the halftime, and you could tell that the intensity was there. And I don't know if something he said to Sean, but Sean did just a fantastic job putting 114 yards of total yards of rushing in this ball game. And
hats off to him. I mean, that's a big-time performance by a freshman.
Yes. Yeah.
A young guy that's going to hopefully be in this program for a long time.
Exactly.
2 touchdowns on the day, 100-plus yards. I believe that's his first 100-yard performance. Another guy that can't go with this segment, he may not be the big money player of the game necessarily, but Terrence Owens, 5 catches, 137 yards. This is his second straight game with over 100 yards receiving, the 4th of his career, and it was a career high. So Terrence Owens, congratulations
to you as well.
And big game, not quite enough for a win, but definitely an outstanding performance by that young man.
And as we're announcing our American National Bank Players of the Game, we're in groundbreaking right now. We're getting ready to this place is getting a huge facelift, and a new stadium will be built here. And as we speak now, I want to say Wilkinson's Realty.
Wilkins Company.
Yeah, Wilkins
Realtors.
Company Realty. Was that Wilkins? Wilkins.
Wilkins and Company.
Wilkins
Realtors.
and Company Realtors are out there now with there's a plethora. Is that the word I can say? Plethora of people out in the gravel area where that's going to be turned into a portion of the new stadium. We'll have a state-of-the-art stadium with seating all the way around the building. So that's going to be, they're doing the groundbreaking now as we speak, and that'll be taking place after the final game that's played right here in Daly Field.
And, that final game here in what is this facility, formerly known as the Cougar Den, where I played my college career, now known as Daly Field.
Right.
That last game will be next week for football-wise specifically.
That's right.
Against North Carolina Wesleyan as we close out the homestand season with the Battling Bishops of North Carolina Wesleyan. And North Carolina Wesleyan, by the way, the only team that has beaten Maryville, who we just lost to today.
Wow. Well, and guess what? I'll be here.
So will I, my man.
I'll join. I'm a business student, but I've got a lot of miles on me. So about Saturday, but I'll tell you, it's been a great day for football.
That's right.
The weather couldn't have been any better. Like you said, the foliage is starting the leaves are starting to change colors, and it's not really bad temperature-wise out, but it's a good fall day for football. And once again, Averett fell short, but we're keeping it alive, keeping that hope alive.
And the improvement's something that if you've been watching Averett Sports Network and following us through the past few years, you can really see the improvement and the direction of which they want this program to go, and everyone's directing it, and it's coming to fruition, and you can see it happening, and it's not going to happen overnight, but boy, is the change evident from where it started.
Yeah.
And I know it's easy to focus on the football program right now because we just broadcasted a football game, but you look at men's soccer improving this year from last year. They're going to the playoffs. Women's soccer, always in competition. Men's basketball, won conference last year, picked to win again this year. Women's volleyball, always a contender, whether it's national tournaments or just in the conference. No matter how you look at it, always a contender. Women's basketball on the rise. I mean, this whole department seems to be moving in the direction that everybody thought it would a couple years ago, and when the whole athletic department overhaul kind of happened.
Yeah, and that's
like
thanks to our AD, athletic director, Meg Stevens. She came in. She's a fireball, man. She no grass grows under her feet, and her whole mindset is change and to see things get greater. I want to say thank you to all of our sponsors: Woodall Chevrolet, SDNR Construction, Sherman Williams, B&T, Planet Fitness, Big Sky, VIR, English Construction, Piedmont. I'm reading them off as we go.
Kickback Jacks, Buffalo Wild Wings, Domino's Pizza providing lunch for us.
Yes, good too. American National, Home Depot, the list goes on. And we just went Ashley's Furniture, Follett's, and I can't see one. I can't see this.
BB&T, you already get that one. Sherwin-Williams.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, thank you to all of our sponsors, man, for putting this thing together and sticking with us through thick and thin. Like I said, the new Daly Field looks beautiful as usual, and like I said, we're getting ready to have
just wait till that
facelift. Yeah, we're going to have a facelift, and it's gonna. Well, we say facelift, but they're going to have construction here, my friend.
It's going to be a big overhaul, but we hope everybody's around next year to see it. But don't get too excited just yet. We got one more to go coming up next week here for football. It'll be North Carolina Wesleyan, the Battling Bishops, coming up to Danville, Virginia, to take on your Averett Cougars here on Averett Sports Network at Daly Field, the only location for your Averett Cougars, Averett Sports Network home action here at Averett's North Campus, Danville, Virginia.
Okay.
And Rodney, I think that just about closes us out for our Buffalo Wild Wings.
Because I was going to ask you, because when we're getting close to finish, I want to ask you a question.
All right, what's your question?
You ready?
Yeah.
That last play.
All right. Well,
you're gonna. And here's what and this is why, because we need to grasp a hold of play calling is key.
It is.
And obviously there's a soapbox we don't want to get on because we are the announcers that we're pursuing victories and we're trying to make this thing come alive.
And we are on the side of Averett.
That's obviously, and that's however we have to. Sometimes you have to bring it where the rubber meets the road. And listen, play calling is key. especially in those type of situations where you're getting ready to score, you have an opportunity to score, but you got to make that right call. You got 4 downs to make the right call, and you're on 4th and whatever, and you make a call that's contrary to what you and I would think should be called.
Well, it was a 4th and 9 from inside the 10-yard line. It might have actually been around the 11. It was inside the 20 in the red zone. Possession, 4th down with the game on the line, and the call was a zone to the right to Sean Bowman, who had, in all due respect, been absolutely lighting up that defense.
Fantastic.
Oh, as we said, over 100 yards, my player of the game, 2 touchdowns. The only thing and we talk about this now because, Rodney laughed because he knew just how my offensive mentality works. And
right.
I understand wanting to give the ball to your guy, and I understand trusting in your players, but I believe I think the ball should have gone to Terrence Owens. I think this was probably the best play called game that I've broadcasted for Averett.
Sure.
And I think you could include any sport. I was very pleased with the entire distribution of play calling and how the offense worked. But that one play, I do not think was the play to call to win the game. I think it was the right idea.
Right.
Of getting the football in the hands of a player you trust.
Sure, because he was making plays. He was.
And I see what the idea is.
Right.
I think I would have chosen a different playmaker, though, and I probably would have tried to get the ball to Terrence Owens, who had a career day. 5 catches, a career-high 137 yards, second straight week over 100 yards receiving, 4th game in his career over 100 yards receiving. Where they were on the field and the outside corners playing a lot of man on those outside receivers. I know Owens is typically an outside receiver. I would have put him in the slot to the right. The ball was on the right hash. I would have had a shallow cross from underneath on that wide receiver with the man follow him, and I would have thrown the ball up to a big 6'4" wide receiver on a flag in the back pylon. And honestly, it's kind of the same idea as what Coach Johnson did call in trusting your player to make a play, which is what he did in trusting his halfback, who had a great game, to make a 10-yard run. I just believe I would have taken a shot to the end zone, but that is why I'm up here in the broadcast booth and I'm not on the field calling plays.
That's right.
But it's a conversation worth having because it's an interesting dialect.
It's an interesting dialect, and here's the deal. It reminds me, because we were discussing this as well during the pregame of the Seattle game of your boys and the Seahawks and the Patriots
and Pete Carroll fluke.
the Pete Carroll fluke and how that same situation. Why didn't you give it to Lynch, who is a monster of a runner who could have punched it in for you? It's the same situation here. You flip it and then you pass it instead of running it because. We didn't have what he's got. So, nevertheless, that's why I asked, because it was, play calling is key to winning ball games. And that's why, And
I think what he was trying to do there was saying, well, it's 4th and 9. They know we're going to throw it.
Right.
So we're going to take a guy who's been successful running the ball, and when they think they're going to drop guys and we're going to throw it, we're going to hand it underneath, and he's going to get 10 yards, first down, move the chains, and we'll try to get the touchdown on the next set of downs. Sure. I think that was the thought process. I understand it. And in a way, I like it, but in a way, it's not what I would have done.
No.
I think this was by far the best called game I've broadcasted here at Averett with Coach Johnson. I thought up until that play call, this was a magnificently coached ball game.
Sure.
And even with that call, it still was because, you know what, the 6 penalties less than what Averett's used to. The 70 yards, Averett's, I can't tell you how many games I've called where Averett's had over 100 yards in penalty yardage. Yeah. So it's refreshing to see that this coaching is working and these guys are connecting with these kids to make smarter plays.
Right.
But that's what I have to say about that last play call. I don't think it's as bad as my initial reaction may have led you to believe, but it's not a call. I would probably run a different play, but it's hard to say because I'm not the one coaching it. And in the end, these coaches know these players a lot better than we do.
That's right.
They see them every day at practice, and they install a game plan for a reason, and they believe in their game plan, and with all good reason, because these guys are spending 60-plus hours a week in that field house game planning, and they must have seen something that believed it. And when you're a player and you get that call, and even if in your head it's 4th and 10 and we're calling a run, you still can't think like that. As a player, you have to say, well, this is what our coach believes in, and this is what he's calling. We're going to go execute.
Vastly improved on offense, defense, and special teams. The Avery University Cougars, though they didn't come with the win, but we've seen something in them this game that's it's going to spark a fire, I truly believe. Final game is next week against the Battling Bishops, as you call it. Is that correct?
Next week, yes. The Battling Bishops, October 31st. That is the final home football game here at Daly Field before the new construction begins. So it'll be definitely an event worth coming on out to. Averett will have 2 road games after that as far as football goes. They will finish the season next week against North Carolina Wesleyan. The next week is escaping me, and then I know they finish against Huntington.
Okay.
Ferrum, that's right. Thank you, Drew, for throwing that in there. Ferrum before Huntington. I knew it was escaping me, but that is, of course, a great matchup because of not only the recruiting rivalry, but Coach Adams, a former Ferrum cornerback, defensive back, and very tight relationship, also a former coach there at Ferrum.
As well.
Very close ties there, so that's always a good game to check out. And I know the players get extra fired up for playing Ferrum because of that recruiting rivalry. So that is what we have lined up for football. And, Rodney, unless you got anything else.
No, I just wanted to get that out of it because you had to get it out of your system, man. I mean, it was...
Oh, I know.
But it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. That's why we do what we do. I have to say, it's been a blast, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no worries, Rodney. And thank you for joining me. And next week, you got to make sure you come back out and join us for the season finale.
Yeah, the season finale with the Battling Bishops, man. It's been great. Well, thank you once again, folks, for tuning in, man, right here at Daly Field with Averett University and the Maryville Scots. What a ball game.
What a ball game, Rodney. It was your final score, 31-26. Maryville improves to 6-1 overall. 3-1 in the USA South, while Averett falls to 1-5, 1-2 in the USA South. Join us next week as Averett hosts the North Carolina Wesleyan Battling Bishops here at Daly Field, your final home game of the season. For my partner, Radical Rodney Harper, my name's Matt Johnson. Thank you for joining us on AU Sports Network. We'll be back next week.
We'll see you.
This has been a production of the Averett Sports Network.